Hi everyone, in this lesson we are going to learn one editor in Python, and that is like Python charm. The purpose of editor, why we are using editor, it is because you are going to see the code more in highlighted version, and it will be easy for you to work on a big project and making game or any program. Then it will make your task very easy to see what is going on, because every code is in its own color, and you can easily find out that the shortcut when you are going to write and everything. Now let's go directly and see that how we are going to install that one. For example, if I'm here right now like in jetbrain.com and PyCharm, and PyCharm is one of the editor which we are going to install. And here you have, when you are going to come in this like page, you have PyCharm, and you can just download that one, and download now. You are going to click that one, and you will get two variation here. One is professional, which is full featured IDE for Python and web development, and it is paid version. It means that you have free trial. After free trial you are going to purchase that software, but we are not going to purchase any software. We are going to do that for free. And for free version you have like community, and in community you have like lightweight IDE for Python and scientific development, and it is completely free, open source. You can download that one. And when you are going to download that one, I have already downloaded it, and we are going to see that how we are going to install. You will get like PyCharm 2018, and you are going to double click that one, and when you are going to double click that one, you will get like here setup screen, and you are going to say that next, welcome, and it will just let that should be installed in default directory, which is C drive program file, and click next. And after that it will ask you which one you want. For example, you have 32-bit launcher or 64. Since I'm using my system in 64-bit, I'm going to click that 64, and we have like creating desktop shortcut, and then we also create associate Py. If you are going to use the Py, then you can do that one. Now after that you are going to also download and install. If you want like 34-bit, you are going to install that one, but I'm going to just install 64-bit and install. And after you are going to just click install, and now it will start installation. And after installation you will get a new editor for Python, which is one of the best editor I think, as we are working in Python. Now I will just make that installation a little bit more faster. As it completes, then I will come back. As you can see, now the installation has completed, and you can either click on run PyCharm community edition and just press finish, or you are going to finish that one. Next we are going to see that how we are going to work on PyCharm and how to configure perfectly for just working on PyCharm. Hope you got the idea. Thank you everyone. And for any programming language, you need a specific platform where you can just install all these resources and all the files, and for Python we will do the same thing. Now let's go directly to the Python installation folder, or we have like Python website here, and we are just going to see that we have like python.org, and we have download in here, and you are going to download that one. When you are going to download that one, it will shows here. Now next you are going to see that we have also already downloaded that one, and we now going to click and double click that one, and we will also add like here add Python, and we will see the customized folder, and you can check that each and everything should be installed here, and like it should be checked in here. And after that one, you are just going to just go back and install now, and you will see that everything is going to install right now. And that is how you will install the Python. And since I'm installing right now, it is like 32-bit, and here you will also get like Python IDE, which is the exactly the platform where we can run and see each and every program in the Python. And one more program which is like you have Python shell, and in shell you are going to just write your all program, and after that you will be able to run those programs in your program. Now when everything will complete, then you will get all those Python, and I'm installing that. For example, you are going to see that it is Python for Windows, and similar steps will be applied if you are installing Python for Mac or Linux system as well. Now when I'm going to click that, you are going to see that setup was successful, and we are going to close that one, and I will get like two Python, and I will just write here like Python, and you are going to check that we have like Python shell. I will just give you our view, and that is here like Python 3.7.0 shell. And if you are going to write something here, for example 3 multiplies plus 2, it will give you directly like 5, and that is very quick and easy way of just checking your program either it is working or not. If you want, for example, you are going to write new, and it is similar to like Notepad. You are going to write your Python your Python program like print, and you are going to say hello world, and you are going to write everything here, and after when you complete the program, then you are going to run that. After we will learn about each and everything in future in next coming lessons, but don't worry right now about all programming language. I hope you learned that how we are going to install Python, and that is some very simple and basic step. Now if I'm going to show you where you are going to download like Anaconda editor, then you should come in the website. Here you have anaconda.com distribution, and you will see similar website like this one which I'm recording right now. Okay, and you have a lot of information about the Anaconda, and you can also use Anaconda for visualization. And you know that Jupyter, NumPy, and SciPy, Numba, Panda, and different other frameworks which we have right now, you all are supported by Anaconda. I think it is better way to install Anaconda notebook, because in future projects I'm also going to use that one, and you can see that how to just program in notebook of the Anaconda, and therefore it is better to install that one as well. Now for installing you must have like whatsoever operating system you have. For example, right now I'm using Windows. If you have Mac OS or Linux, you can also just download the version which you want. And for all of these operating system, we have two versions. For example, we have Python 3.7 version and Python 2.7 version. And you know that 2.7 version is the older version right now, which we are using Python, that is 3.7 version. And in both versions we have two supported operating system, which is 64-bit graphic installer, and one is 32-bit graphic installer. Now you are going to check either your operating system is 64 or 32-bit, then you are going to download according to your operating system and install Anaconda. Anaconda is very simple, like Notepad or notebook, where the installation is also similar like all other software you are going to install. There is not any problem. You are going to install, check that one. Again, if you have any question, you can write that, and I will reply for you in the comment section. When you are going to install Anaconda, and after installation, when you are going to open Anaconda editor or navigator, you will find all the functionality over here, and you can see that we have different functionality. We are going to use one by one, but right now we need one thing, and that is notebook, or we can say Jupyter notebook. Okay, and when you are going to launch that Jupyter notebook, then you will get like that interference which you can see right now in your screen. And we have Jupyter notebook, and there are different files and informations. You don't need anything from here, but you are going to come in new and you are going to click Python 3. Since I have installed Python 3, okay, or 3.7, you are going to work on Python 3 and you are going to click on Python 3 and you will get a Jupyter notebook over here like this one. Now similarly, however, we are going to use PyCharm as well, and maybe I may use in some project Jupyter notebook and in some project PyCharm. There is a possibility of both of them can I use, but it is better way you have to understand that how we are going to work in Jupyter notebook and also in Python PyCharm. And there are one thing you should remember, that we have, if we are going to rename the title of that notebook, then we are going to say that lesson, for example, lesson 1, and we are going to rename that one. And okay, we have already lesson 1, we are going to rename lesson 2, okay, lesson 2. And here you can see the title has been changed, and the interference is similar like the notepad, where you have file, edit, view. We are not going to go on all these options because they are not necessary for the Python programming, but we are going to see that how we are going to write some program in notebook. For example, the first program which you are going to write, okay, here you write print and parenthesis and quotation mark. That is my first program in Jupyter note. Okay, we are going to say Jupyter notebook, and after that you are going to click on run, and you will get the output. That is my first program in Jupyter notebook. And that is the beauty of like Jupyter notebook, and as compared to PyCharm, where we have to add the program or the coding, and after that one we may be changing and removing all these things. But here we are going to get each input and output in the same position. Okay, now if you want to, for example, I'm going to show you some really quick shortcuts. If you don't want to click again and again the run, because you are going to program and you don't need to just press again and again your mouse. Therefore, one thing you are going to do, for example, I will print something. Here is the coding or command. Okay, now what I am going to do for like running the program or compiling that one, we are going to press shift and then we are going to press enter. Okay, now you can see that it is already printed, and we got the output, which is here is the command. Okay, when you are going to just run the program, you are going to do one thing: print. Here is the second line of the code. Okay, shift and enter. You are going to press shift or hold shift, and you are going to press enter. Then you will get like the output of the your input command. Okay, now that is how we are going to use Jupyter notebook in the future projects as well. Welcome to the third lesson of the Python programming course, and in this course I am going to show you, in this lesson we are going to learn that how to work on the PyCharm, which we have already installed in our previous lesson. Now in this lesson we are going to just make our first program, and I'm also going to introduce one more Python IDE where you are going to just program Python on that editor as well, with very easy and quick way. Now let's go and start that what we are going to have in this lesson. Now before going to jump into first program, I'm going to show you that you have Anaconda editor as well. Okay, if you are going to come in address bar, you can see that we have anaconda.com and distribution. Here you have various version of Anaconda notepad for Windows and also for other like other operating system as well. But right now because I'm using Windows 10 and 64-bit version, therefore you have two version of Python. One is 2.7 version, which is the old version, and currently which we are using right now, it is currently we have 3.7 version. Therefore you are going to download like 64-bit, and after downloading you will get your notepad Anaconda. I'm going to show you here Anaconda. We have navigator. Okay, you are going to open, but remember that the installation is very simple. There is no need to do anything extra, or you may have extra knowledge for the installation. That is not required for the installation of any software. Likewise, you have Anaconda and PyCharm as well. Okay, I'm going to just open Anaconda, and we are going to use Anaconda notepad, which is a better way to understand and learn the interactive interference or user interference in Anaconda, which is, I think, way better to understand. Okay, now when you are going to open Anaconda, you will get something like this one. There are many packages in Anaconda which you have already. For example, we will learn step by step about different features of the Anaconda. But right now, what do you need? You just need a notepad, okay, or notebook. You are going to launch notebook. It will open in the browser. For example, right now we have localhost here, and it doesn't require any local server to install Anaconda. Directly itself will give you a complete like that port and localhost. You don't need anything. Okay, you just need to launch your notebook. After that one, what you are going to do, you will get similar interference like I have right now. Maybe in future, if you are going to download the latest version, could be a little bit different, but the purpose of this tutorial, you will get similar things. Okay, now we are going to come in new, and we have Python 3, since I have installed already in first lesson the Python. Okay, before installing Python, you are not going to get or work like you have Anaconda notebook. Okay, first you have to install Python. Now what we are going to do, we are going to click in the Python 3, and you will get a similar interference like we have right now. And here you have your title. For example, you can change that title. I will just write that lesson 1. Okay, and we are going to rename that one, and you can see that we have lesson 1, and in the title address bar it is also lesson 1. Now what else we have? We have similar functionality, like we are going to save renames, and we are going to use all these. We are not going to use all these options. Okay, first thing is first, we are going to write our first line of the program. For any program, you are going to write like print, and print is a function which we are going to write like, and whatsoever you are going to write, you are going to use like bracket we have here. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit, and you have like bracket here, and also a quotation mark. You can use either one quotation mark or double quotation mark. Both will work in similar ways. But what we are going to write next, whatsoever you are going to write, for example, I'm going to write my first program. Then you are going to run that program. Here is the option for the run. You are going to click, and you will get only my first program. That is the program which we are going to say that you have to write something whatsoever you are going to write here, and it will give the output like my first program. Okay, if I'm going to use print, for example, double quotation mark, first you are going to use bracket and double quotation mark, then you are going to write like my second okay, second line with, for example, double quotation. Okay, then since I'm using double quotation, and I'm going to I'm showing you that with single quotation and double quotation both will work in similar ways. There is no problem if you are going to use, but sometimes we use double quotation and sometimes we use single quotation. You will learn that where we are going to use double quotation and where we are going to use single quotation. Okay, now I'm going to run that one, and you will see that the output is my second line with double quotation. Okay, now anything which you want to write in the sentences or into words, you are going to use print. And when you are going to use the print word, Python automatically will understand that you are going to print something in the program, or you want to just telling the Python program that you have to give the output, the thing which is in the print option. Now for example, I have print and I want to add two numbers, 2 and 3. I'm adding that two numbers. Okay, now what we will get, for example, I'm going to run and we have 2 plus 3. Okay, now if you want to exactly add that two number and you want to get the 5 integer, or the addition of two numbers should be exactly the output which is the combination of two number, then you are going to write like print, and without quotation mark you are going to write 2 plus or 3 plus 2. Okay, now when I'm going to run, you will get 5. Now what is difference between when I'm going to print quotation mark 2 plus 3 and print without quotation mark 2 plus 3? When you are going to write with quotation any number in the print option, Python will understand that it is like string. String is like you have a word or sentences, okay, which you are going to say that it is not integer. In other sense, when we are going to just see the programming language, we have to mostly use options. One is integer and one is like we also say that strings. Okay, one is strings and one is integer. Here we are using 2 and 3 as a string, and here we are using 2 plus 3 as an integer, which are going to aid Python and give a result into 5. Now how is that like we are doing all these and there are different options which Python is understanding. Okay, now if you are going to for example write 4 plus 1, and I'm going to run that program, then you will get like 5, but there is a difference between that 5 and here in the left side you are not getting anything, and but in line 5 you have output 5, but it is also showing you that the output is 5, but we are not giving information like the Python should print that. Okay, if you want to print, then you should say or you should give the information to the Python that yeah, you should give the information. For example, I'm going to write and it is print 4 plus 5. And for the purpose of this lesson, I think it is very basic, and you have to understand that how you are going to write your first program, how you are going to write your second, for example, how you are going to differentiate between strings and also integers, and you are going to also write multiples code of line. For example, print hello. Okay, then I will also come print in second line if you want to write how are you. Okay, and here what we are going to do, we are going to write the quotation mark as well because it is string, and next we are going to see that when we are going to run the program, and it will display that hello, how are you. Okay, first line in the print which is showing hello, and the second line in the print it is how are you. Now if you want to, for example, don't again and again click on the run, then what you are going to do, you are going to click write print, for example run program, and program. And now what you are going to do, just hold down your Alt key, hold down your Control key and press enter. Without just clicking run, it will run your program. See, I have that, and you are going to see that run program. If you are going to see that we don't have second line, then you are going to press for example Alt and enter, then you will get the second line as well. And I will write, that is, for example, that is my third line of programming. Then Alt, hold down Alt and press enter, and you are going to get output, that is my first line of programming, and next input where you are going to write the code of line. What we have learned in this lesson, I'm going to give you overview and quickly overview, and you will understand that whenever you are going to write anything in the Python programming, then you are going to write with the function like we have, or method we have like print, and it will give you the output, but that should be in bracket and parenthesis if it is a string. And if it is not a string, for example it is integer, you are going to write without quotation marks, and you will get exactly the result which you have right here. We have a variable in Python, and before going to Python and just coding exactly what is variable, you should understand that anything which will change its state or position or its value is called variable. Variable means that you are going to change the value of something. Okay, for example, if I am going to print in first lesson we have already learned that whenever you are going to make any string and you want that to be in the output, then you are going to just write print, and then you are going to write the statement or the sentence. Okay, for example, I will write, that is the variable lesson, and we are going to render that one, and you can see that we have a result, that is variable lesson. And how about if I'm going to assign some like later to the sentence? For example, I will write message is equal to, and we are going to write in quotation mark, that is the variable lesson, and we are going to enter and render that one. Now you can see nothing in the output. The reason that we have not just assigned any print function on that one. Now what we are going to do, we are going to write print, and we have parenthesis, and we are going to just call the variable which we have given the value. For example, the message is a variable, and we have the value which is, that is the variable lesson. And when I'm going to just run that program, then you will get exactly the same message which we have done here. Now why we are going to use variable? Because we are going to we can just for example, we are going to use variable again and again in different programming language, and that is the reason that we are going to use variable, and we are going to easily access the variable anytime which we want. For example, if I want to just print that long sentence 3 or 4 times, then what I'm going to do, print message, and again print message. Easily we can just run that program with message. Okay, now one thing you should remember, whenever you are going to assign variable and you are going to call that variable in print function, then you are not going to use like quotation mark. Okay, we are using without quotation mark. However, if you are going to use quotation mark, what will happen? Then now you are going to learn. For example, I just say print, and we are going to use quotation mark, and I'm going to write message. Then it will just render the message, because we are saying that it is not variable, we are assigning a string to the print and the print is understanding that that message is not variable which we have here, but it is itself a message, itself a string which the print will, or the Python will just render, and we will get the output as a message. Therefore, you should understand that whenever you are going to use variable, you should not use quotation mark on print function. Okay, now again, if I'm going to use, we have just used variable for the string. We can also use for the integers. For example, x is equal to 2, and we have y is equal to, for example, 5. And now if I'm going to print x, then you will get 2 because x is equal to 2. And if you are going to print y, and that is equal to 5. Now that is the simplicity of the variable. You can also use, for example, z is equal to, and add that two variables. And now when I'm going to print, for example, z variable, you will get, for example, 2 plus 5, which is equal to 7. Now that is how the beauty of the variable is, and how we are going to use very easily and quickly and call that variable. But remember one thing, whenever you are going to use, for example, two data types, one is string and one is like integer, I'm going to call var, which is variable, and in here I'm going to use like string str. Okay, and I will call hello Python. Okay, now what I am going to use, I will use one more variable, and that is integer. Okay, for variable integer you are going to use, for example, 3. Now how about if I'm going to add variable string with variable integer? Okay, for example, I will call combine vars, it means variables, and I'm going to say var string and plus var underscore integer. And when I'm going to just run that script or that code, you will get data type error. Okay, and you are going to get the error like can only concatenate str. Okay, string, not integer. It means we only can combine two strings, not integer. We are using integer here 3, which is not possibly string. Therefore, we cannot concatenate that two. Concatenate means that we are going to combine that two ones. Okay, now we are going to do two things. We have two information here. Either we are going to say that string, and we are going to use str, and we have parenthesis, and in parenthesis we are going to write 3. And when I'm going to run once again that program, and no more, you will get like this error. Now it means that you are not going to add two data types at the same time. Okay, either it should be string or both should be integers. Now in case of integers, you already learned that z is equal to x plus y. We have x and y, which both were like integers, and here we are just telling the Python that 3 is not integer, but we have used a function where built-in function where we have just called that it is a string, not an integer. Then we did not get any error. Now if I'm going to print, for example, let me run all these, and when I'm going to print, okay, when I'm going to print combine string, combine vars, then what we will get, like hello Python and 3. We cannot add a string with integers. One more thing we can do, and we can just say that string we always use without quotation mark, integers we are going to use without quotation mark. If Now if I'm going to run once again, and you will get like error, and if you are going to use simply quotation mark, then again Python will understand that now 3 is not integer, it is a string, and when you are going to run the program, then again you will get the same result. Either you can use str string and parenthesis the integer you are going to write, or you can just use the quotation mark. It could be double quotation mark or single quotation mark, and the Python will get like it is like a string. Okay, now that is how simply you are going to use variable in the Python program. One more thing I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to make you understand that when you are going to use, for example, I have t which is equal to the text. Okay, now one equal sign means that it is assigning, we are assigning the value text to the t. Okay, for example, print, we are going to print t and we get text. Now we are assigning that text, that string, to that variable t. We use one equal sign. If you are going to use, like, if I'm going to say that 5 is equal to 5, okay, now when I'm going to print, I will get error. Okay, now it is saying I'm assigning 5 which is equal to 5, which is not possibly in the case of integer. Now if I'm going to say that 5 is equal to 5, then we are going to use two equal sign. Now when I'm going to run that program, and you will get the value which is true, means yeah, we know that 5 is equal to 5. When you are going to use one equal sign, it means you are assigning the value, and we cannot assign the value. For example, if I assign the value of the 4 to the 5, then we use one equal sign or one equal, then you will get like an error, and the error is like keyword cannot be an expression. Now see, the keyword cannot be expression, therefore we cannot do that one. Either we can say that t is equal to 5. Okay, now t is equal to 5 in print. We have to just make that t is an invalid keyword argument for the print, and we also can use quotation mark. Okay, now we made all these things, and string, you can get the result. Or either you can just do one thing. If you are going to see the equality sign, for example, 4 is double equal to 5, which Python will understand that check the equality, either these two values are equal or not, then we will get the output as false. Now we have learned two things: one, variable, and second, how to assign values to the variables, how we can add variables to each other, either it is string or it is integer. We cannot add both of them together, but we can add same integers to the integers, and same like we have strings to the strings, and we use one equal sign for the assigning variable and two equal sign for just checking that either it is equal or not equal. And for the future lesson, we also use double equal sign most of the time for the checking the value of the variable or anything which is true or false. I hope you got the idea that how Python will work with variable and assigning the variable. Go into Python, and we already know that the Jupyter Python notebook is here, and today the lesson is about the arithmetics. And what is arithmetics? For example, if you are going to add, subtract, multiply, or divide some numbers, then you can easily do in any programming language, but today we are going to do that in Python programming language. For that one, for example, I will say that 5 and plus 2, yeah, or plus 4, what will be the result? It will just show you 9. Simply you can also like write print, and remember that in data types I just give you some information about data types, that we have two different data types. Like we have different data types, but mostly we learned about two basic data types, which were string and integers. Now we are since using integer in the print, therefore we don't need to use quotation mark. Okay, what we are going to do now, when I'm going to just run that program, we will get the result is 9. And similarly, when you are going to, for example, print 3 minus 7, then you will get the result, which is -4. Okay, now similarly we can also divide different numbers. For example, 6 divided by, and for divide you are going to use slash sign, and I'm going to just write 2. It means we are going to divide 6 by 2, and we are going to get like 3.0. And most of the time when you are going to in Python language, always when you are going to divide different numbers, then you will get that number in another data type, which is called float. Float means that when you are going to use the point as well, now it should be 3, but we are getting like 3.0. It is called float. When you have decimal in the integer, then that is called float in the Python programming language. Okay, now if you want to multiply, then for multiplication you are going to use, for example, for static and 4, it means 4 multiply by 4, or 4 time we are going to multiply, and we are going to get 16. Okay, these are some basic mathematical operation which we are doing right now. And also we are going to for example, we are going to get square, for example 3 double static and 2, and when we are going to just run that program, we will get 9. It means we are squaring 3 2 times, and we are getting like 9. If I'm going to cube that 3, then we are going to write 3 power 3. It means then we are going to get like 27. It means that we are multiplying, for example, multiplying 3 and multiply by 3 and multiply by 3. We are multiplying 3 times, and it is cubic of some integer which we are doing right now. Now when I'm going to run, we will get similar result. Now there is also possibility where when you are going to just assign variable to your integers, then you can also multiply or make an mathematical operation on that variable as well. We learned about variable in previous lesson. If you do not watch that video, just go and watch about the variable, and I'm also going to show you in this lesson as well. Now for example, we have like vegetable. I will just write veg, which is equal to, I have 2 kg of vegetable. Okay, then that I have assigned a variable, and if I'm going to call the variable, we are just going to write without the quotation mark, and when I'm going to print that one, you will get like we have veg, which is equal to 2. Now if I'm going to make another variable as well, like I will say milk, I have milk, and it cost me, okay, for example, it costs me 200, and vegetable, it cost me, for example, 150. Okay, now I'm going to run both these, and now what should be the total cost of milk and vegetable? It means I need to pay the total cost to the customer, or maybe to the one who are buying that one. Then I will say total, or total, for example, total underscore cost. Okay, now we have to add both vegetable and milk. The price should be added. Okay, added. Now what we are going to write, veg plus and milk. Now when I'm going to just run that program and call the total cost and total cost, then we will get like 350. It means 200 and 150 will be 350. Okay, now you are going to just make that or you should understand that we have vegetable which is variable and it has a value, and also milk which is variable and it has a different value, and we are going to add that two variable at the same time, and we are getting a result as a corresponding or as a consequences. Okay, now what you are going to do next, one thing I want to show you. Okay, when you have multiples operations in the same equation, what you are going to do? For example, I have print, we are going to say 2 multiply by 4, okay, multiply by 4 plus 3 and minus 1, and what will be the result? It is a little bit confusing. Okay, now when I'm going to print, it will just give me 14. For example, I have just multiplied 3 by 4, which is equal to 12, and we have added like 3, and we have subtracted 1. How about if I'm going to change that equation and change the operation, the order of that operation, and I'm going to do that one, maybe 3 multiply 1 and minus that one and plus. Now what we get, the answer is 2. Why these are different? For example, the result should be same, but it is not same. One case is like we have 14 the answer, and one equation is like we have the answer which is 2. And if I'm going to do that like 3 minus 4, which is equal to minus 1, and minus 1 plus like 3, which is equal to 2, minus 1, and minus 1 multiplied by we have like minus 1, and minus 1 plus 3 is equal to 2. 2 multiplied by 1 is equal to 2. Okay, we get the result like this one. If I'm going to show you that what is happening here, right, let me just give you an overview of the one concept which we have right here, and we have that concept which is like BODMAS, which is called BODMAS. Okay, or in mathematical order, when that all comes, then what the program or what you should do if there is different like answer. Okay, now let me show you one thing more to make the concept more clear. Okay, what about if I'm going to don't change anything, but we are going to do like that one, and I'm going to just enter, and you will get minus 1. Why that is like that? We are just changing the order, or we are adding parentheses, and we are getting different like answer. Now everything is same, plus is there, same, plus is there, same, minus is there, same, multiplication here. If I'm going to change, for example, once again, and we make like let me just do like this one, and bracket, and we are going to see. Okay, let me just add one more bracket, and we are again seeing or watching that we have answered the 2. Why that are all different? Because here we are just giving information to the program that first you are going to solve anything which is in bracket. Let me just show you anything which is in bracket. For example, I have here which is completely open, there is no bracket here, but in the second portion I have like 4 plus 3 which is in bracket. I am giving information to the Python program or to any program that first you have to add these two numbers, and when that two numbers will add, then we get like 4, 5, 6, 7, and then it will like multiply or subtract. Okay, 7, and we're going to get multiplication which is like 7 again. Okay, then we are going to subtract 7 from the 3, and we will get minus 4 the answer. Now see, we have the order. First should be the bracket. We have to just calculate whatsoever is in bracket. then we should check the order. Either it is square, either it is cubic, either it is irrational number. For example, it is in under square. Then what you are going to do, first solve that one. Then after that one, you are going to use division. Then multiplication operation will apply. After that, addition. Then finally we are going to use subtraction. Now let me do one more equation. Okay, for example, I'm going to say print, and we have 2 which is 3 power, and we have plus 5, and divide by, for example, divide by 5 and minus 1 and plus 2. What will be the answer? 10. Okay, now what we are saying, that just do first operation. For example, we have 2 power 3, which is equal to 8. For example, I get answer 8. Then we are dividing 5 multiplied by 5, because after that one, what we are going to use, first we are going to use the order which I have just multiplied 3 times, and I get 8. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use, since the bracket is not there, therefore we are going to use the division, which is 5 divided by 5, and we are going to get 1. And after that one, we have to use like addition, and what I'm going to use, like 2 plus and minus 1, we are going to get again plus 1, and the result will be 10. Okay, now that two are same, therefore whatsoever you are going to do, for example, we have right here, we can possibly do something like, if we are going to without adding or subtraction, we are going to add these two one. Okay, after that one, finally we also get the result. Maybe sometime it could be different, but sometime it can be same, but mostly what we are going to use, we are going to use the same method which we have, like BOD MAS, and for shortcut you are going to remember or memorize that as a board mass. Okay, now here is really simple arithmetic problems which you are going to solve in the Python, and I will just give you our view of that lesson once again, that what we have learned in this lesson. What we have added, we have just add two numbers, and for that one you are going to just put plus sign for subtraction, minus sign for division, you are going to use slash. Okay, then for the multiplication you are going to use static, for square or cube you are going to use for power. In similar condition, if I'm going to say for power, we are going to use double static sign. Okay, then we can also assign like variables to the any number, and we can also make some arithmetic calculation on that number, or make an operation as well. But remember one thing, if I'm going to print 1 divided by 0, 1 divided by 0, what will be the answer? Then I will get 0 division error. I will just give you information about that one, why we are getting like 0 division error, and what should be the solution of that one. But before giving the solution, I want to know about your opinion, that why it is not possible to divide like 1. If I'm going to, for example, I'm just make it comment why it is like not possible, or giving the Python is giving error when we are going to divide 1 with 0. And if I'm going to reverse that one, then we will get a result. For example 0 divided by 1, and the answer is 0. And why that is like we are not getting 1 divided with by 0, you can give me the reason in the comment box below. I will also understand that you have learned some concept. If you don't know, just Google it, search it from YouTube, from everywhere, and just write that in comment box below. Now first I'm going to show you, before you are going to before we are going to continue our program, for commenting any section of your code, you are going to use hash. Okay, now if I'm going to use hash, and I will say that here is the comment section, okay, section. Then when I'm going to run that program, then you can see we have nothing, and only we have a blank, like a blank page, okay, or blank output. What is the reason? Because sometime we are going to write a code, and we also make some note on that code, and that note can be skipped, and we are just making that note for ourselves, for our purpose, to memorize and make the program more readable. Therefore, whenever you are going to make a note or a comment in your program about a specific section of your program, then you are going to use hash sign, or there are some different method as well. I'm going to show you step by step in other lessons as well. Okay, now what I'm going to just do, one thing I will say, I will just give a variable like weekly, okay, weekly salary, and I'm going to assign that variable a value. For example, for right now we have only $1,000. maybe I'm earning weekly $1,000, then we are going to assign, then after that we are also going to change that one. Okay, now I'm going to run that, and when I'm going to just call that variable, you are going to see, you are going to call that variable now print, and we have weekly salary. Okay, I'm going to print, you get the answer, which is completely fine, and we have already learned that one. But we are not going to do that one, or we are not going to just compile or run that program. Okay, what we are going to do, we have like weekly salary. Okay, we will say that weekly salary, or for example we have weekly salary, and I'm also going to write something here. I don't want that only be 1,000, and there be some information about that one, that how much I have salary. You have already learned that. For example, if I'm going to make a sign, and a plus sign, and we are going to combine that two, and I'm also going to write, for example, your weekly salary is. Okay, now what do we have? Now when I'm going to run that program, you will get like an error, and type error. You can only concatenate. Okay, we can only concatenate a string, not the integer. See, we are using two data types. One is a string. For example, we have like that one, which is a string, and we are concatenating that one with the 1,000, which is a string. Therefore, Python is just confusing about that two data type, and we are combining that to one, which is not possible right now in the Python. But we have a method which we are going to write like str. Str means that we are converting that string to the that integer to the string. Now since we are concatenating the two values, or that two data types, therefore we have to make them similar or same according to their types. Now we have both of them, which is a string. Now when I'm going to run that one, you can see that your weekly salary is 1,000. Now on the 1,000, there is no sign of dollar, there is no sign of USD. We can also add that one. Okay, for example, we are going to say that one more string, which is USD, and before that quotation mark we are going to assign dollar, and you can see your weekly salary is $1,000. Now it is completely fine. Okay, we have done everything completely fine. Great. What we are going to do now, we have to find, our new task is, what is the monthly salary. For example, I will just make monthly salary, okay, which is equal to, what should be monthly salary? How many weeks we have in 1 month? We have 4. Then the task is very easy. You don't need to just write everything here. You are going to make a simple mathematical operation. We have already learned that, okay, in previous classes. If you have not studied, or if you have not watched that video, just go and watch. And now what I'm going to do, we are going to print like weekly salary, and we have weekly salary and multiply by 4. Now when I'm going to print or just call that variable, for example monthly salary, then you will get the answer. Okay, we have a monthly salary, you will get the answer, which is 4,000. Okay, now we already know that in 1 month we have in 1 week we have 4 like weeks. Okay, now since I'm multiplying that weekly salary with 4, we are getting a 1 month of salary. Now again I want similar, for example similar format. Then what we are going to do, your monthly I'm going to write and concatenate that one. Okay, for example your monthly salary is, and we are also make $ and str, because we cannot just concatenate string and with integers, therefore we have to also add like convert the integer to the string as well, and again USD, and once again we are going to use USD. Now when I'm going to run, you can see the program that your monthly salary is like 4,000 USD. Again we are going to find out the annual salary or yearly salary, and I'm going to assign yearly salary, and here I will stop. Okay, you should stop the video and just find out yourself that what should be the yearly salary for yourself. If you are going to find that one, you should find that one and also come to see my result. If your result and my result are same, then it means you are doing great job. If not, then now we are going to do that one. Okay, what is like yearly salary? In 1 year we have 12 months. We are going to just make same calculation once again. For example, we have monthly salary. I'm going to say that monthly and salary, and it should be multiplied by 12. And now when I'm going to like print yearly salary, and I'm going to get the result like this one. And again we are going to make same format. For example your annual salary is, okay, $ and maybe colon, and also we are going to concatenate and we are going to say that str, and then we are going to close the parenthesis plus and USD. We are just repeating the same step. There is no any like rocket science. Okay, now we have to find out what is the problem. Like we have USD and we are going to just change that to string, and now we are going to get our annual salary. If your result is same or similar to my result, then you are now a Python programmer. Great job. Okay, one last thing, I want to just make everything similar in one line. What we are going to do, we are going to just take that one, okay, copy. For example, I'm going to copy that line and we are going to paste here, because I want all these results to be in one line, and this should be copy and paste in second line, and the third yearly salary should be copy and paste here. And now when I'm going to run that one, you will get all your option. For example, you have your, okay, we are going to write your, okay, your, and we have here also your, okay. Now once again I'm going to run that all these program once again, then you will get the final result. Like, okay, once again we are going to see if there is any problem. Okay, your, here I'm also going to write your R and R, and we are going to run. Now your weekly salary is like $1,000 and your monthly salary is $4,000 and your annual salary is like $48,000. Okay, now what is the beauty of that program? For example, if I have all these, for example, I have all these calculation, okay, and we don't want for example this one, and I'm going to delete that one, and I'm also going to, because I have just make that for your understanding, and I'm going to delete that one as well. Now since we have now that complete program, and we have weekly, monthly and yearly salary, and I'm going to run all these program once again, and you get the similar result because I have copied and pasted every function here. Okay, now what we are going to do, for example, if you have, for example, if you have like different value, I can calculate the $1,000 with multiply by 4,000 and 48,000 is very easy. If we have something very odd number, okay, then what we are going to do, for example this number, then it is not easy task to calculate it, and with programming language easily you can just do with one, like typing the integers, and now you can see that we have completely all our result, which is like 1245. okay, now 4980 and 559 760 USD dollar. Now see that is not easy task to calculate. For example, if I have like 132524, okay, now calculating that one is completely easy for us. Now whatsoever you have like monthly salary, or you have monthly salary and you have annual salary, you have already calculated everything. How about if the government is also taking tax, for example tax, yeah, or we say that government tax, okay, which should be like how much tax should be. For example, I will say 200. okay, now it is your task to minus the annual salary with 200, and you will get the result, how much result should be there, and you should write that in comment box as well. I hope that program and everything which we have already learned in previous lesson, I have just combined that one and give you a review in this lesson, and how we are going to make a comprehensive note and make our code readable and more amazing like right now which we have, and everything is completely perfect. And therefore again, if you have question, just write that in comment box below and ask me anytime. I will be very happy to come. We have already learned about the string and integers. If you don't know, just look in the description of that video. You will find all previous 6 lessons, and you are going to learn different Python functionality. But right now in this lesson we are going to learn problems with strings. For example, I will make very simple string, and I will say that my text, which is equal to, like, we are going to say hello Python learner. Okay, now what we are going to print, we are going to print my text, and you will see that hello Python learners. But you are going to see that we have like single quotation mark as well. If you are going to print that one, then you will get completely pure text, which is like hello Python learners or learner. Okay, now there is a problem when you are going to use quotation marks in your text. Then the Python will confuse that either you are going to print that quotation mark or it is a part of program. Now for example, I will say you example 1, and which is equal to, okay, I will write like I like for example quotation mark and Python. Okay, once again Python, and we have book. Now when I'm going to print, or I'm going to compile, or I'm going to run that program, then you will see that we have invalid syntax. And I like Python book, we are using quotation mark, it is single quotation mark, and we are using 2 times. One, I want to print that one in the output of that program, and one is like we are saying Python 2, it is a part of program. Now Python is confusing in this example that either I'm going to take that quotation mark to the as a string, or that quotation mark as a string. Therefore, what you are going to do to overcome that problem, you are going to use, for example, double quotation mark, and I'm going to use double quotation mark in the end of that string, and you have like I like Python is like in quotation mark in the output, then book. What we are going to do, we are going to print example1. Okay, now when we are going to run that one, then we should also run that program and again that program, and I like Python book. Now see, in this example, Python is understanding that we are including double quotation mark as a program and single quotation mark as a string, and it will not make a Python to confuse anymore. If you are using like double quotation mark for the Python, then what you are going to do, you are going to remove single quotation mark. For example, you are going to do like single quotation mark and double quotation mark for the book. Okay, now when I'm going to print, you will see that we have already get Python, which is in double quotation mark. Now more complex situation will come while you are dealing with the string. For example, I'm going to give you direct speech text, which you are going to use most of the time, and for that one, if I'm going to use double quotation mark, and I will say that he said and comma, we are going to use like double quotation. He said you should not learn Python. Okay, and if I'm going to use, for example, in this example, you can see that I want to print all these string where we have also double quotation mark and we have also single quotation mark. Now what we are going to do, if I'm going to run that program, you will see that we have right now invalid syntax again. Now again Python is going to confuse that. What I'm going to do, we have also double quotation mark and single quotation mark. We have two methods here. I'm going to show you. First method, you are going to use triple quotation mark. For example, double quotation mark and triple quotation mark. I'm going to use like triple quotation mark. Okay, then at the end you are also going to use like triple quotation mark. Now when you are going to run that program, then you will not get any error, because in triple quotation mark you have now you are saying that whatsoever quotation marks like single quotation mark and double quotation mark, and at the same time which is coming in direct text, the Python will just ignore that as a program and include in the string in the Python language. Now when I'm going to run that program, for example print, I'm going to print that program, print direct text, and you will get like he said you should not learn Python. Okay, now we have one another option and one another example as well, where you are going to just find out and see that where you are going to use like that the Python program should not read quotation mark as a program. Then you are going to use one more example. Okay, I will say slash text. Okay, now what we are going to do, for example, I'm using single quotation mark and I'm saying again that I like football. Okay, now if I'm going to use football in quotation mark, either it is single quotation mark or double quotation mark. For example, I'm going to use double quotation mark here first. Okay, but before double quotation mark, what you are going to use, you are going to use double like we have backslash. Okay, now if you are going to use double quotation mark in the end as well, then before quotation mark you are going to use backslash and double quotation mark. Now when I'm going to run that one and print slash underscore text, and you will get like I like football. Okay, now we are saying Python that whenever I'm going to use slash or backslash, and afterward when you are going to get like you have quotation mark, then the Python should not read quotation mark as a program, but instead of that one it should include that one in the string, and you will get the result like this one. Now one more example is here. For example, if you are going to use multiple lines for in the Python, how you are going to use that? I will say multi-line. Okay, then we are going to say that hello sir, then I will just enter here. Okay, now how are you, and in last line best regard, and for example Jamshed Raza. Now when I'm going to print that one, again you are like seeing that EOL while scanning a string, literal. Okay, now what you are going to do, if you are going to use multiple line, then you have two options here. I'm going to just make it like triple quotation mark as we have done before for the direct text, and here I will also use triple quotation mark, and we are going to print. Okay, now I'm going to just I'm going to run that program. Now print, and we have multi underscore line, and you are going to see that whenever you are going to like enter here, the Python will now read that we are going to use next line, like hello sir in one line, second line, third line, and fourth line. You are not going to use like first one quotation or double quotation mark and you are going to enter, and you may think that you will get like in second line the string. One more example is here. You can also do that. For example, I will say that multi line 2, then we are going to say that we are going to just make one string with one single quotation mark, and I say that hello or first line. Then if you are going to use second line, then backslash and n, it means you are going to just go to new line and you are going to say that second line, and so far you are going to also make third line, and when I'm going to print multi-line 2, print multi underscore line 2, and you will get like first line, second line, and third line. These are all example of Python strings where you are going to have different problems like we already discussed each and every one. And if you don't want Python to run a specific program, for example, I'm going to say print hello world, and it will just going to print and give the output hello world. And if you don't want to run that and make that as an example, you are going to use like number sign, and you are going to print that one. Now you can see that it has been graded, and it means that Python is not going to read that program anymore, and we are going to use most of the time number sign for commenting the program, or we are going to use a specific terminology for the program where we should remember. For example, I will say that for addition we are going to use plus, and now when I'm going to print any or run the program, I will say that for example, and then I'm going to enter that example as a program. Okay, for example, x is equal to 5 or 4 plus 5, and when I'm going to print x, then you will see that only we will get that program which has been executed and run by the Python, and all these two lines has been just ignored by the Python because we have commented that two lines. embed variable in string and numbers. We are going to do that one. And now you know already that what is variable. If you don't know, just go in previous lesson and just find out what is variable and how you are going to make variable in Python. Alright, now we are going to make variable name, and we are going to say that Jamshed, of course it is my name, and my age, okay, and it is like 25 or 24, maybe 25, and we have country. Okay, for example, I'm from USA, but it should be in string as well. Okay, now let me just make that in string as well, and okay, single quotation, and now we are going to enter that one, and you will see that we have 3 variables. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to embed all 3 that variables in my next strings, like for example print, and I will say hello, and I will call it string, and that string is like %s. You will understand everything here. I will explain completely, but let me code and I will explain for you. Okay, and your age is %d, and your country is %s, and we are, you can see that we are just coming out of that quotation mark, which we are going to use for the string. After that one, you are going to use percentage sign, and then you are going to call your variable, for example name and age and country. Okay, now when I'm going to print that one, you will see hello Jamshed, your age is 25 and your country is USA. Now it is a magical sentence which we have just embedded different variables in our sentence. Okay, how that program just build up and what is the concept behind that, now I will going to explain for you. For example, you have string, and you are looking right now, I have 2 data types I'm using in variable. One is like 2 are like strings and the name and country, and the age which I'm using right now, it is integer. Okay, and for integer, you know that it is different type of data type in Python, and for string, the number, which we have already discussed in previous lesson. If you have not just watched that video, just go and find out what are different types of data type in Python, and you will understand completely. All right, now what we are going to say that hello, and calling the first variable, which is here name, and hello name, which is Jamshed. Okay, now we are calling the second variable, which is age. Your age is d. I'm saying that it is integer, and for integer we are using the word which is small letter, and that is d. Okay, now 25. I will explain why we are using like d and why we are using like s. Okay, for s you already learned that it is a string, therefore we are using like s, and for digit we are using like d, and therefore again we are using country as a string, therefore I'm saying that, and your country is string, which is country. Now you already learned that how easily we are going to, for example, embed that variables, and we are going to change that names. For example, I will call Javed. Okay, for example, I will say that 26, and I will change that here. You don't need to change each and everything. Okay, now only you are going to change, you don't need to write every sentence once again. Maybe there could be different, like you need to change each name in the application, which is like 1,000 words, then you don't need to again and again put the name. Okay, you are going to just embed that name in all the like 1,000 words, where the name variable will come. When you are going to change that one, you will completely change each and everything from that 1,000 words. Now I will just again explain for you everything. For example, now we are going to run that program and that program, and you are going to say hello Javed, your age is 26 and your country is Australia. For example, I'm going to use different other things in that variable. and I'm saying that print and print, for example, percentage s, you are a student of like Python class, okay, and you are, for example, you are from percentage s again, and we are going to use again the name and the country, only two variables. Okay, when I'm going to print, you are going to see that your Javed, since I'm using the name, your Javed, you, okay, we are going to change that, okay, to your, to you, okay, you are a student of Python class and you are from Australia. And that is how we can easily change. For example, I want to change, we have like was 10 or maybe 100 lines where we have embedded the name, the age, and the different variables in that 100 lines. Then we want to change, and by mistake we have spelled it wrong. Then you don't need to change, for example, Javed here, the country here, the country here. But again, you are going to only change the variable, for example, and I'm going to change variable here. And for example, his age was also just written that we have wrongly just wrote everything. Okay, now see, everything has changed accordingly. Now I have changed only one variable, and there are two variables. It means automatically I have just optimized my time here by changing only one word. And you have like age here, and we have changed the age here. Okay, now the country, since we are using country 2 times, therefore automatically that two like word which has been applied in different lines, it is automatically changed. Now suppose you have different like length of complete stories, or you have written a book where you have a name multiple times which is coming, and you have spelled it wrong, and the author is watching that one and saying that no, you are spelled it wrong. And now for you it is very difficult to change each name, alphabet, and one by one you should see that, and you are going to change. Okay, then alternatively you are going to use the embedded functionality which we are using right now. Okay, now let me give you one more quick example from that embedding a variable. We have one different method as well, like print. If I'm going to use the name, for example, hi name, then we are going to use like bracket, hi bracket. Okay, I'm going to tell you that how you are going to use name here. Then you are, your age is like bracket, and we are going to fill that bracket again, okay, with Python coding. And we will say that you are too young to enroll in my course, and I am happy that you are from, for example, bracket. Okay, now what we are going to do, once again we are going to use here after the quotation marks. Okay, now let me just hide my came, and after like quotation mark, what you are going to use, dot format, and you are going to write dot format, and in bracket you are going to write what you are going to use. For example, in first bracket what you are going to use, I'm going to in the second bracket and the third bracket. Okay, for example, first bracket name, second bracket I have age, and third bracket I have like country. And when I'm going to print that one, you will see what we have right now. You are going to clearly see that hi Jamshed, your age is 25. Now it is automatically getting each and everything. Okay, and you are too young to enroll in my course, I'm happy that you are from now the country which we have already used here in 3 variables, and here you are completely going to get each and everything by the method which we are using, like format. Okay, these are 2 different like types of embedding the numbers or the variables or the strings into your sentences or into your complete long paragraph. Then easily you can do that one. But remember, the percentage like we are using here, it is old class programming which we have already discussed that and we are going to use. But most of the time in modern Python languages, which is completely giving a sense as well that the program is also readable, and we can also have implemented the name, age and country beautifully without just understanding that it is a string, it is like integer, or it is floating. You don't think about that type of the like we have a Python program. All right, now one more thing I'm going to explain here. For example, you have a variable money and it is floating, right? It is floating, and I'm going to say that 5.6753. All right, okay, now we are going to run that program, and once again when I'm going to print that one, okay, and if I'm going to use like what we are going to, I have money. Okay, now I'm showing that how you are going to use percentage and how SD and F will has a different usage in the embedding variable. Now for example, once you are going to use string, and here we are also going to call that money, and you can see that now we have like that one, and I'm also going to print. Okay, I'm going to copy that one, copy, and once again I'm going to copy that one, and we are going to use 3 different like method. Okay, now see, I have used the same variable money in all that print function, and we have already S, D and F. Now you have different values here. For example, you have I have money 5 point, which is completely the value which we have in variable money. Okay, you can see that here. And what is that? Now I have in first line, which I have print the money as a string, and it is converting that integer into a string, and the Python program is reading is like a string. Now it is not in the first line, is it not as an integer or a float. Now the second line, which I am going to call the money, and I'm saying that I have money, which is percentage D and percentage like money, and it is just getting the integer sign or the integer, which is not a float. What is float and what is integer? We have already explained each and everything in previous classes. You just check and just learn that what is the float and what is the integer. But I'm going to also tell you that here that the person like you have integer, it is without any in Python program. Okay, it is without any decimal, and when you have a decimal, it is like floating in Python programming. Now I'm calling that as a float, and you can see that I have like 5.753000, and it is bringing that variable as a float in Python programming. Now you have whenever you are going to use like different data types, you should remember that according to their types you are going to call that variable into your command or into your like program. Okay, I hope you got and you learned that what is like embedding variable, and we have 2 methods what like we are going to use, simply like percentage sign, and we are going to also call that variables in the end of our program, and one is like formatting. Okay, like format, And when we are going to use format, we don't use %sd and f. Instead, we are going to use like bracket here. And whenever we are going to use the bracket, and you are going to just call that variable in a sequence which you want in that paragraph or in that sentence should be embedded. Okay. And for example, I'm going to show you some example over here that what is list actually. But before moving to the list, I will show you one thing more, that and I will say that my fav fruit, it means that my favorite fruit. Okay. And I will just write a string which will be exactly a string for the different fruits, and I will say that apple, mango, orange, and maybe strawberry. Okay. Now if I'm going to run that program, and I'm going to just call that variable which is my favorite fruit, and you will see that I have the complete string which has been rendered, and we already learned that how we are going to control and how we are going to call our variable while we are going to assign a variable. But here I'm going to show you one more example that we have complete control in each word or in each atom of that particular, for example, fruit which we have right now. I don't have right now a control which I am going to select apple, mango, orange, or strawberry. Okay, what I am going to do, I will just say that list fruits, and which is equal to, for example, whenever you are going to create or make a list, you are going to start that one with the bracket. And then you are, if it is string, basically we always used quotation sign. It may be single quotation or double quotation, and if it is integer, then you are going to use without quotation marks any number. Okay. Now for example, I'm going to again apply same thing, apple, and when you are going to assign each atom, you are just going to write that in separate quotation. And after that one, if you need to enter the second atom, then you are going to just write the comma, right? I have done right now, and you are going to assign the second atom, and similarly you are going to do for the rest of the atoms which we are going to write now. Okay. Now for example, the last one, which is straw and berry. Now when I'm going to run that program and call list fruits and fruits, and you will see that we have completely same like output which we have already written here in the program, but it is right now in the form of the list which we have also bracket, and everything seems like the input which we have already written here. Okay, but the power of the list is more amazing in Python in any programming language. How is that? We have complete control. For example, we have 4 atoms here. Okay, we are going to select each individual atoms if we want. How we are going to do that? It is called indexing. With the help of indexing, we are going to select each atom in the list. For example, I have list fruits, and if I want to select any atom, for example, I want to select orange, then maybe I have 1 2 3, we are going to write 3, but the output will not be orange, but it will be strawberry. Now I'm going to give you, or I'm going to show you that now let me change the fruits, and you are going to see that we have strawberry. Now you may be thinking that why it is like that in the Python language or in any programming language, because in any programming language the indexing, the first atom, starts from 0. Now if we count from 0, apple is 0, mango 1 2, and we have the third atom 0 1 2 3, the third atom which is strawberry. It means we have the third one in our list, for example 1 2 3, we actually count that one as a 3, but in a Python we should just call that as a 2 because the first atom starts from 0. Now I'm going to render that one. You will get the output of the list, which is orange. And if I'm going to call the first atom, which is orange, which is apple, then I have to write index which is like 0, and the outcome will be apple. If you are going to write like by mistake, if you are going to write by like 1, then you will get mango, because we are saying, or I'm saying again and again, the list or the index always start from the 0. Now let me show you one more amazing same concept which we have already learned. For example, I will say that word which is equal to Python. Okay, now Python is a string, therefore we are going to write that in quotation in the quote formation, and when I'm going to call the word, then you will see that we have Python. Now check, we have already learned the variable and assigning the string to the variable, but we have not learned that how we are calling the index. For example, if I need to call only the letter H, then I am also call that one with the help of the indexing. Now how we are going to do that one? 1 2 3 4, it means we are going to start 0 1 2 3 word, and you are going to write in brackets 3, and your outcome will be that H, which means we are calling the letter H in our word. And if you want, for example, only that word in from the Python, then you can also get how. For example, 0 1, and you are going to say from the 1 I need like 0 1 2 3 4 5, and the last point should be 5, and you are going to, okay, we have 0 1 and we have from 2, therefore we are going to start that from 2, and we are going to start that, for example, from 6, and we are going to get Python. Okay, now once again let me just see that we have 0 1 and I have started from 2, and we have 2 3 4 5, and it means 5 is also there. If you are going to write like 5 and I'm going to write 5, then you only get the O which is included in the Python. But if you are going to write 6, then it means the last one which will be not included, and you are going to get complete Python. Okay, now similarly we are going to get for the list as well. If we are going to index, for example, I need only mango and orange, then what we are going to say 0 1, and we have like 2. If we are going to write that one only mango, because between 0 and 1 we have only one atom, therefore we are going to write 3, which 3 will be excluded. For example, we have 0 and here 0, and I'm calling 1 is included, which is mango, and we also call it between the 2, which is orange, but 3 is excluded from the list. Now you may be getting all these programming, and you will be used to that one in future as well. When you are going to work again and again, then you will understand each and everything. And now let me show you one more thing. For example, I need from mango to the up to the end of the list. How many atoms you have, you don't know. Maybe you know that one. It doesn't matter if you know. If you don't know, then you are going to call that. I'm going to just do that one here, list fruit, and we are going to say that 1 and colon. It means that you should start and include the index which start from the 1, and it will end still to infinity, which complete list should be included in that one. And therefore we are saying that you have to exclude all those items which are not starting from the 1, it means 0. And if I'm going to write that 2 and I'm saying that start from the 2 and 0 1 2 orange and take up to the end of that list. Okay, now that is the beauty of the list, which we have complete control. Now again, if you are going to do same thing but in other way, if you want to start from the 0 index and you are going to say that it should be like 3 or 4 items, indexing 4, maybe 3 is not included itself, then you are going to call that one and you have 0 1 and 2. okay, 3 is not included itself in the end, therefore we get all the 3 item here from the main list fruit. Okay, now we also call that as a subset of the like list of fruit items. For example, me, Jamshed, like I'm assigning, okay, like list fruit, from the list fruit what I like, I will just categorize that one. Okay, only I like the one list which I only need that one. For example, I only like apple and mango, then I will say that from 0 start 0 and also include 2, 0 1 and 2 should be excluded when I'm just calling Jamshed, and you will get that I only like apple and mango. Okay, if someone else is there and they like some other items from that list, then they can also assign sub list from the main list as well. Okay, now we are going to call once again list fruits. Okay, list fruits, and we are going to call that one, and you have everything here. If you want to change, for example, apple with any other element, and you are saying that no, I don't like apple should be here, instead of apple we have another item and it should be like banana, then what you are going to do, list fruits, and when you are going to list the fruit, and you will say that I need to replace index 0 with the another item which is banana. Okay, now when you are going to call list once again of the fruits, then you have excluded apple and you have replaced that one with the banana. Now you are getting that one as well. But how about if you need apple as well, then what you are going to do, you are going to add apple in the list as well. Now how you are going to do, we are going to say that list fruits, and we write append, and we are going to say that apple. Now when I'm going to call fruit list fruits, and you will get all the elements including banana and apple as well. And therefore if you need more items, you can add by writing append, and if you are going to replace the item, you are going to write that with the for example with the same index, and you are going to write only the string, you are going to get that one. If for example you are going to delete any item from that one, if you want to remove that one, then you gonna say that del list fruits. Okay, then you will just say that I have like banana, I don't need that one. Then you are going to just write, since we are going to use the list, then we have to use the indexing, therefore the name list fruit is not defined here. Okay, let me just say that list fruit and banana. Again, you are saying that the error which we are getting right now, which we have list indexes must be integrated or slice or not string. Okay, now what that error type is indicating, that is list indexes must be integers or slices, not string. It should be not string. Therefore we are going to use only indexes or index, and when I'm going to run that one, and we are going to call list fruits, then you will get all the list instead of banana, because we have removed that one. And that is the beauty of the Python programming, which we have complete control each and every items, and how we are going to deal, how we are going to add, how we are going to remove any item from the list. When you are going to come into the more advanced like programming, then you will going to use list in more amazing and paramount usage. You will be there and you will understand completely that one. Now in list we have only one thing. You are going to use bracket, and for each item, if that is string, then you are going to separate that one with quotation and also comma. Okay, when you are going to call, for example, we have used variable, you are going to call variable, and with indexing you are going to organize the item in the list. And therefore, if you have like a num list, and I'm also going to write 1 2 3 4, and you are going to call num list, it means you are just going to call number or string, integers in the list as well. That is not a problem if you have like strings, or you have like integers, which we have already used that one. But you have to remember the basic concept that for the string you are going to use that in the quotation mark, and for in the integer you don't need any quotation mark in the list. I hope you learned from the concept that what is list and how you are going to list, how you are going to use list, and how many usage of list are there. And that is one of the most powerful usage of the list, which we are going to use in future as well. And here is arithmetics with list. And for example, for that program I need to make a list, therefore we are going to make either a string list, either integer list, or we can make both of lists at the same time. Now I will make, for example, string list variable. Okay, list variable, and here I'm going to say that as we are going to assign element in the string list, therefore we are going to add the element with using a single quotation or double quotation sign. Okay, now since I'm using always single quotation, then you can also use double quotation, that is not a problem. And I have element, for example, physics, and we have like bio, and I have chemistry, and for example we have computer science, and what else we have, and we have math. Okay, math. Now since I have assigned each element to that string list, therefore I'm going to run the program, and when I'm going to call string list from the program, then you will see that it will display like physics, biochemistry, computer, and math. You have also learned that you can slice the different element from the list. Okay, how we are going to do, for example, I will take the previous lesson and make you understand. And if I need, for example, from 0 to 3, and I will just get like physics, biochemistry instead of math, and you have computer and math. You have sliced the main group from the main group, and you made a subgroup from that one. Okay, now that is the beauty of the Python, that you can also slice and make a subgroup from the main group. But here we are going to do that we have like 2 subgroup, and we are going to add that into main group. For example, we have like string list, and you can see that is string list, and I will also make one more list, which is num list. Okay, and I can just add the element in num list, and when I'm going to call the num list, and you will see that we have all the integers like from 1 2 3 and 4, and that is what we are going to now use. Now what I'm going to do here, I will make one main group, one main list from both string list and num list. In other words, I would say that two lists are a sublist, and I'm going to make a universal list from that two. How we are going to do it is very simple, and we are just going to make some arithmetics or simply addition. You are going to write like string list, and you have num list, and when you are going to run that program, you can see we have now completely both the string in both the list in one list: physics, biochemistry, computer, math, and 1 2 3 4. Now we have one universal list from the main that two sublist. Okay, now how you are going to use that one? How about multiplying that two like list? If I'm going to multiply that two, is it possible or not? You may think and just tell me in comment box, and after that we are going to do that one. Okay, now let me do that. Okay, if I'm going to multiply, for example, string list with num list, what we will get the result. Now you are going to see that we have a result, and it is a type error, and the type error is indicating that cannot multiply sequences by non-int, it means integer or type list. We cannot like multiply list with the list which is not which is like a sequence. Sequence means that we have multiple numbers in one list. Okay, 1 2 3 4, and that is called a sequence. Therefore we cannot multiply that with non-integer, and non-integer you mean that we have like using string. We cannot do that one. If I'm going to do one more thing, for example, I have like I'm going to make a sublist from the string list for a string list, and I only are going to slice that from 0 to 1, 0 to 1, and you will get only physics. Now what I'm going to do, I need physics 5 times to be in one list, like physics, 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 and physics, physics. Okay, then how we are going to do, I'm going to assign that variable like assign it like variable, and I will say that phi list. Okay, now when I'm going to call that phi underscore list, and you will get same result because I only assigned that one as a variable. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to multiply that phi list, and it should be multiplied by 2. Now either you get error or not, we will going to see here. Now you are not going to get error, but as a result you have physics 2 times. It means I am multiplying that element 2 times. If I'm going to multiply 5 times, as I said that if I need a subset of the physics of the element in the list to be 5 times, then we are going to multiply 5 times, and you will get 5 times the word physics. But don't worry, if you have like we have like num list, and already we have made a num list, for example num underscore list, and you want that to be multiplied, like for example num list should be multiplied by 2. For simplicity, I'm going to only multiply that 2 times, therefore you may easily understand. Then you can now see the result 1 2 3 4, and it repeats once again 1 2 3 4 because we are multiplying that list 2 times, and we are getting the result 2 times. If you need to multiply that 5 times, for example, or 6 times, you will get like 5 times 1 2 3 4 and 5. Okay, now you can also do the same thing with string list. That is not a problem if you have like string list, or you have like a num list, or you have like integer list. Okay, or integer list. as we have already applied that one here in physics. You can see that. How about if I'm going to multiply that string list, which is the combination of all these elements, for example string list multiply by like 2 maybe, and you will get physics, biochemistry, computer math, and again physics, biochemistry, computer math. You have multiplied 2 times that list, and that is how you are going to multiply. When you are going to use the multiplication sign or static sign, you are going to add some integers, maybe 2 times, 3 times. You cannot multiply list with list, but if you are going to add different list, for example we have done here, we add string list with num list, you can just add both the list in the main list, and here is the result, like physics, biochemistry, computer math, and 1 2 3 4. Now once again, if we are going to like I have num list, okay, let me just show you num list, and here is num list. If we are going to like divide num list, what you are going to get, for example divide by 2, then what you are going to get, again the same error, okay, type error, and unsupported operand types, or for example we have divided that one, okay. Now list and integer, you cannot do that one, and you cannot divide both list with list or with integers, but you can multiply list with some integers, and you can add list with another list. I hope you get the complete idea that how you are going to use a list property and how you are going to utilize that list property in your actual practical work. We are going to learn about the tuple. Tuple is similar like list, but in tuple we are not going to able to change any element in the list or in the tuple. We have the flexibility in a list where we can change, we can add, we can remove the elements, but tuple is fixed. Whenever you need something which is fixed, you are going to use tuple in Python. Now how you are going to use in coding the tuple, I'm going to show you directly in my computer screen. And here we are going to use one terminology, that my tuple, and we are going to make a variable, and here I will paste all the element. For example, we have the fruit element, and apple, banana, cherry, orange, and kiwi, and melon, and mango, okay. Now the difference between, like we were using list in previous lesson, if you not watch that video, just go and watch that video, and the link is in description of that video. And here you can see that we are using the parenthesis, and in list we were using like bracket, okay. That was like we were just opening and closing with bracket, and here we are using like the parenthesis or braces, okay. Now that is a complete different between a tuple and list. Everything else is completely similar. Now what we are going to use, we are going to run, and when I'm going to call tuple, then you will get the output here similarly like we were using list. And with same technique of indexing, using index, we can just get a specific element from the tuple. For example, I need that element cherry, and we are going to use the index 0 1 2. It means I'm going to call the element 2, and you will get cherry. All right, now you can also use the term of slice or index slicing in the tuple as well. For example, from 2 to end of it like tuple, and you can see that it is from starting from cherry and it on mango. If you are going to use, for example, that 2 element as well, then it means 2 3 4, and it means I'm going to use 5, and here we are going to render, and we get only 3 element of that tuple. All right, now one more thing here, I'm going to give you one more sense of indexing, which is a negative in indexing. How you are going to use, for example, my tuple, and if you want, for example, that element, and you are going to call like 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 without just knowing that which element or last element the index is, but we are going to use the term of negative indexing. For example, it is -1, -2, -3, and therefore if I'm going to use -1, and you will get like mango. All right, now you can see that we have mango. If you are going to use like +1, you will get the element apple or banana, because apple is 0. All right, now the negative indexing is also applied for all those places where you can use index. For example, in list you can also use negative indexing as well. Now simply tuple is very simple, and it has not that much possibility of functionality where we are going to use in the list. Whenever you are confused, either the element are tuple or it is a list, what you are going to do, for example, you are going to write type and my tuple, and you will see that tuple will be the output, and it means that it is like we have a tuple element here. Now one more information I will show you in tuple, that we have my tuple and I have num tuple. Okay, my tuple, I will call my tuple, and then we are going to also assign num tuple. Similarly, you can also use number as well, but you know that for number or for integer we are not going to use any quote sign, therefore we are going to only write the number. Now when I'm going to call a tuple and num tuple, since I have that capital, you should remember about case sensitive, because Python will just consider that as a case sensitive, and you cannot write like here you capital letter or here a small letter. Now I'm going to run that to program, and you can see that num tuple is 1 2 3 4, and my tuple is now apple, banana, cherry, orange, kiwi, and melon, mango. Now we can do one thing. We are going to add both of that tuples. Now I will say that combine and tuple, which is equal to, and we have my tuple and plus, and we have like what we are going to num tuple. Okay, num tuple. Now when I'm going to run that, and I will call combine tuple, and you will see the result that we have all the combination with that string tuple and integer tuple. It means you are going to add two tuples. But if you want to for example, if you are going to change anything from here, then it is not possible in tuple. You cannot change anything in tuple as far as if you are going to use list in the tuple. Now there is a limitation of the tuple, and sometimes it's also useful in different purpose which we are going to use, and you cannot change the element in the tuple. And dictionary is also same methodology which we are going to use, and it has a very nice link with the dictionary with the list and also with tuple. Now how we are going to use dictionary in Python, let's get started. Okay, you can see that I have Python dictionary, and we are in notebook Jupyter notebook. All right, now what I'm going to do, I am going to make a variable, and I will say that I have an iPhone, and I have all the details of that iPhone, and I required, or the client required, what is the model, what is the color, what is the memory, and everything in iPhone which we are going to add in the, for example, in list, or maybe in dictionary we are going to use that one. Okay, I will say my underscore iPhone. Okay, it is a variable. Now whenever you are going to start dictionary, you are going to use braces. All right, and for list you remember that you were using like bracket, and here for dictionary we are going to use braces. Now it is different from the dictionary and tuple. And how we are going to use, for example, I will say name or model. I have iPhone and its model is, and I will say iPhone X Max, and I will provide comma, and I will say that maybe year, okay, year, and it has been manufactured, for example, in 2020. Since it is string, we are not going to use any quotation marks. Now if you are thinking that what I'm doing, we are also using colon, and I'm also using two like strings. One is model and colon, and also we have like iPhone X Max. I'm also entering the model of that that mobile phone, for example, okay. Then now in dictionary we have two different values here. That part is called key, and that is the value of that key. For example, when you are going to call model in the dictionary, then the output will not be a model, but it will be like iPhone X Max. How we are going to do? For example, I will run that program, okay. Now I will call my iPhone, and the client needs my iPhone details, okay, all the details. Then if I'm going to run, then you will see that the model is iPhone X Max and the year is 2020. How about if I only need the model or the year? Okay, what you are going to use? You are going to just make a bracket, and you are going to call specific key, and the output will be the value. That part is the key and that part is the value. Now you have called the key, which is the model, okay, and you got the output, which is iPhone X Max. It means if someone is only need a model, it doesn't show like model is equal to or model colon, but it directly show that the model is iPhone X Max. And if I'm going to use like year, then you will get only the output, which is the value 2020. And that is how we are going to use dictionary, and that is one of the most powerful methodology which we will use in Python most of the time, okay. Now there are similar ways how we are going to add different items in the dictionary, how to remove different keys or different values in dictionary. Then there is a quick way which we are going to use. For example, I'm going to add my iPhone, and for example I need the color, okay. Then we are going to just write bracket colon color, and which is equal to, for example, red, and then that's it, okay. Now when I'm going to call my complete iPhone, you will see that now we have added one value, and that is color also. And if I'm going to call the color, for example, my iPhone, and here you will get like color, only you will get the output which is red. Fine. Now how about if adding more items? For example, my iPhone, and we are going to use memory, okay, and maybe it is 256 or 512 GB, okay. Now since we are using GB, then we have to use quotation marks as well. Now when I'm going to call my iPhone, and you will get like memory, which is 512. Now how about if we are going to delete the delete any item from here? Then we will write like del, okay. Now my iPhone, my underscore iPhone, and I want to delete maybe color. Then we are going to write color, and enter. Now I will just call my iPhone, and you will see no more any color here, and you can see that now the color has gone. And maybe you are going to add different color for iPhone, then you will say that color which is equal to, what was the color? It was red. Okay, we are iPhone X Max with red color. That is super cheap. Okay, we are going to use gold color. Now that is luxurious, right? Since we are using iPhone. Okay, now let's see my iPhone color. Okay, iPhone, and I'm going to use color, and it is gold. And if only I'm going to call all the items, then you will see that we have already added color as well. Now we are going to use the copy functionality as well. And if you want to need all these like key and values in different dictionary as well, then you can do that one as well. For example, I will say sold underscore iPhone. First, that was my iPhone. Now I will say sold iPhone is a variable, and I will say that my iPhone and dot copy. And when I'm going to call iPhone sold iPhone, then you will see the same setting because I have sold that iPhone. And what does that mean? Sold iPhone is like I have sold my phone, and we have all the details which I have copied into sold iPhone. Okay, now if you are going to add in sold iPhone, then you will say that iPhone, I will also add one more value, that is price, and which is equal to maybe $112. And when I'm going to call sold iPhone, then you will also get the price, and I will say that sold iPhone, and let me sell sold iPhone and price, and okay, price, and you will get the idea that I have sold it in $1,200. Okay, now we can also, okay, how about if I'm going to call my iPhone, it should be different from the sold iPhone because I have added 1200 in sold iPhone. Okay, now you will see that there is no price, and you can see that we have price in the iPhone, which is sold iPhone. How about if I don't need all this information? For example, in my iPhone, since I have sold that one, now I don't have any iPhone. Okay, what you are going to do, you are going to clear all the details from here. Then you will say that my underscore iPhone dot clear. Okay, now when you are going to run, now you will see that my iPhone, since I don't have any iPhone, now it is empty. Okay, you have cleared each and everything from your iPhone because you have sold that one. Now what if I'm going to call sold iPhone? Okay, now still you have all the information which you have sold in iPhone, and you have all the details, but my iPhone is no more here with the values and keys. Okay, no more here. And that is the beauty of the dictionary, that how we are going to use in the Python. Consider if you are using like Kinter and you have a user interference where you have complete setting, you have each and everything like the button, you are going to add something, model, color or anything, or you want to remove that while using a web application, then that will completely work amazingly. We will learn in Kinter that how we are going to use our that coding as a web application as well in the future, but for now I think that is what we have learned in dictionary using a Python. Now I have already written a simple code that my book is equal to And here you can see that book and emotional intelligence, I have provided a key and a value, and here is author and its value like Daniel Coleman, and year like 1964. Okay, now what I have done in the input, I have just rendered or my book, that is the variable, and I'm entering the key which is book, and we are getting like the value which is emotional intelligence. All right, now how about if I'm going to write each and every element of that, like that dictionary, then we are going to loop. In this exercise I'm not going to explain completely about the loop, but I'm going to give you a simple idea that how you are going to loop and get all these values or the keys, or both of them at the same time as well. Okay, but we are going to learn about the loop in upcoming lesson, and we are going to learn each and everything about the looping. But here I'm only going to give you an idea that how you are going to get like different keys and values, multiple keys and values at the same time. And for that you are going to do for loop. For I will write for x in my book. Okay, now you are the right column. Then I will write print what you are going to print, and you are going to say print my book, and okay, my book, and you are going to call x. Then you will get all the values like emotional intelligence, and the author is Daniel Coleman, and the year is 1964. For x in my book, I'm calling that x all these elements in my book like variable have which I have already assigned in that dictionary, and I'm printing what my book, that variable where all the element we have here or all the values which we have, we are going to get the output. How about if I'm going to get the keys and values at the same time? Now what you are going to do, you are going to write x and y for both keys and values in my book, and you are going to write all the items in my book. Okay, then colon. Now what you are going to print x and y, all the items which is in my books, both keys and values should be loop, and we will get both the values. Like now you can see book is emotional intelligence, author is Daniel Coleman, and year is 1964. And if I'm going to only, if you are thinking only printing my book will give the same format or same information, that is not, because you are getting a dictionary, like you have braces here, okay, and you have key and values, but here you have no braces, no like quotation, single quotation marks, nothing is here. You are only getting the values and keys at the same time while using loop. Okay, how about if you have like multiple dictionary, how you are going to add multiple dictionary in one dictionary? And we are going to write, for example, my family, okay, which is, we are going to open dictionary and by braces first, and again I'll say child one, like in case it's me. Okay, we are going to write in that into quotation mark, and again I'm going to write like braces, and child one we are going to write name, and name is maybe name is James, and we have like okay, we have like maybe age, okay, age, and since 25 we are going to write, okay, and you can add multiple values and keys as well, but for now I have added name and age. Okay, if we are going to add something else as well, like education. Okay, education, and I will write primary, and we are going to add that child, for example child 1. And now since it is in main dictionary, it is like the first element, and therefore we are going to write comma here. Then again we are going to write like Javed, age for example 26, and primary. Okay, I'm going to write secondary, and again comma, and here child 2, and here child 3, and Jahanzeb, age 27 for example, and primary. Okay, now I'm going to run the program, and once I'm going to call my family, and also I'm going to call child 1. Then okay, since we are going to use small letter child 1, then you are going to get like it is child 1, and all the values and information is here, like name, James, age 25, and education primary. Okay, if how about child 2 or child 3? What we are going to get? Child 3, Jahanzeb, 27, education primary. Okay, if I'm going to get child 3 and I only need to know about the age, then you are going to again write in bracket and age. You only get the child 3 and age is like 27, and that is how you are going to use nested dictionary, where you have multiple dictionary into one dictionary, and you are going to get all the values of the dictionary while you are going to get specific value in that dictionary as well. Okay, now that is the simplicity. You can also do one more thing. For example, I will write my family again. Okay, then what we are going to write, like I'm going to make all 3 dictionaries separately. For example, I have like child 1, and okay, we are going to call that as a dictionary, and child 1 we have that dictionary. Okay, now I'm also going to call child 2, and remember I'm not using comma because we are assigning that as a separate, and we are also just removing the quotation mark from here as well, because it is a variable, it is main dictionary name, and we have all the elements, values and keys in that dictionary, and it is the second dictionary which we are using. And also we are going to add the third dictionary here, for example here, and we have a child 3, and everything is here, and I'm also going to write like equal, and now I'm going to run. Okay, after running all these values, now we are going to make main dictionary. Okay, now in main dictionary what I'm going to do, we are like going to add, okay, we are like going to add dictionary, and I will call child. Okay, since child 1 is a name, I'm going to make it in quotation, and I will say child 1, and the variable is child 1 as well. And similarly we are going to call child 2, it is like a key, and the value is child. Okay, here we are going to add child 2 as well, and finally we are going to add child 3, and the value should be child 3. Now going to run. I'm going to call main.dict, and in main.dict I'm going to call child 1. Okay, in quotation mark child 1, and we are going to find out what is the problem, what is the error. Okay, by mistake I have not written that T, and we are going to add T. Now I'm going to run, and you can see that we have now child 1, which is James, age 25, and education primary. Now if you are going to call child 1, and again we are going to same techniques like the name, and you are going to get James. Now either you are going to add separate dictionary and you are going to call the dictionary into main dictionary, and then you are going to just call every keys and values of that dictionary. It is also possible if you are like going to write one main dictionary, like we have that main dictionary, and in that dictionary you have all the keys and again a dictionary, then you can also get this one, and that is complete the power of the Python using a dictionary in different ways and in different condition. Hope you learned that how you are going to use dictionary. And here I will say that my book, I will assign one variable, okay, my like book, and I will say that math. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I will assign my book variable, and I have assigned string to that variable, and that is the word math. Now we are going to give a condition. If my book is math, what should be the outcome? And if my book is not like math here, something it should be, or it could be something else written here, or something else which has been selected, then what should be the result? Okay, then I will say that right now, if my book is equal to math, then we are just at the end we are just going to write the colon sign. Okay, it is very important. And now when I'm going to press enter, you will see that we get like here a space. It means we are doing completely right everything. And I'll say that print and my fav book. Okay, my favorite book. And now when I'm going to run that program, you will see that my favorite book. How about if I'm going to change the my book, and I will say that chemistry, and now going to run, you will see no output. Okay, why? Because the condition is saying that it should be math, then print that sentence. If there is not math, then we have nothing to print. Now again, if I'm going to change that to the math, for example math, and you are going to get the output similar to that one. Now I'm going to explain two things here. One, you are going to see that equal sign, and one, you are going to see that two equal sign. When you are going to use one equal sign, it means you are assigning value to the variable. Assigning value to the variable means that you are showing that that should be similar to that one, and it means double. When you are going to use like double equal sign, it means that you are showing equality. For assignment, when you are going to assign some values to the variable, you are going to use single equal sign, and when you are going to compare two values, then you are going to use double equal sign. Okay, now we are going to assign one more like condition. If my book is equal to math, then it should be printed like that sentence. If not, then what should be the result? We are going to write else and colon and print I don't like that book. Maybe even it is worse than we are saying I don't like the book. it could be according to the interest, don't worry. All right, now I'm going to run, and you will see one error, and it is like we are using single quotation and I am also using in sentence as well, then you have to overcome invalid syntax. You are going to overcome that problem. You have multiple options, which we have already learned that how you in the previous lessons, that's how you are going to solve the sentence problem. Now only I'm going to use / sign, then I'm going to run the program and you will see that now it is terminated, and we are saying the program that it is not a part of program but it is a part of sentence. Therefore it is going to just avoid in the program that quotation mark is not a part of program, right? Now how about if I'm going to change that maybe to some another subject, then you will get a result here like I don't like that book because whatsoever I like, that is like a math book, but I don't like that book which is here like biology. Okay, now you can also do for example, you can also write I don't like that book plus maybe if I'm going to write that and concatenate that that variable here we are assigning. And now when I'm going to run and you are going to see that I don't like that book and we don't have a space, then you are going to just give a space here. Now I'm going to run the program and you will see that I don't like that book bio. Okay, now because we are concatenating the value of my book as a variable and we have assigned that value to bio, and we are getting as output the sentence which is completely here, and plus we are also giving that variable, assigning variable here as well. And how about if we are saying we are going to like my favorite book, and we are also going to concatenate that like my book, and we are going to change like my book to math, and then you will get the result that my favorite book is like math, or my favorite book math. Okay, now that is the simplest form of condition where you are going to control all your program using the condition sentences, if and else, where you will say that logically that what is possible and what should be the outcome, what should be like the assigning variable, and according to that variable we are going to give our complete program a logic that it should give the output according to that variable, right? If you have any problem, you can write that in comment box below. In other lesson we are also going to learn about condition sentences in more depth, but right now it is enough to have that lesson, and you are going to practice and give us more sense that how you are going to use a if and else condition in your program. Hope you got that idea. And I have Jupyter notebook, therefore you are going to write some variable like score. I'm going to write, and I'm going to assign simple integer in that one, and we are going to call some condition. For example, if score is okay, we have already learned about like assigning and equality portion in previous lesson, and if you don't know what is assigning, like assigning variable and what is equality, you have to watch the previous lesson. But you can see that if score is 20, then what should be the print your number is 20. Okay, now when I'm going to run, and you will see that your number is 20, and if I'm going to change like 25, then you will get no message. But if the condition, for example, the score is not 20, then we are like making one new statement, and it should be your score is different than 20. Okay, now you will get like your score is different than 20. If it should be 20, like it is 20. and your number is 20. Okay, now that is like equality. How about if I'm going to say that score is 20 and it should be like greater than 20, then I may get this message. If it is not greater than 20, then I may get this message. Okay, now since score is not greater than 20, then we may get this message. Let me run, and you are getting like your score is different than 20. It means we are using greater and assigning the word which is greater than 20. Now if it is greater than 20, the score is greater than 20, it means if it is 21, then I will get like the score, your number is greater than 20. Okay, now for example, if I'm going to run, your number is greater than 20, your score is less than 20, and we are going to say less than or equal to 20. Okay, now I'm going to run. For example, it is 20, then your number is greater. Okay, we are going to run. Your number is less or equal to 20, since it is equal. If it is less than 20, and you can see that now again you are getting same square. If it is like 21, then you will get like your number is greater than 20, and if it could be like 1 to 1, and you will get the same message. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to impose some more verification or some more numbers and some more conditions in that one. It means we are going to add multiple condition, and if score is 20, then what should be like next condition, else if. Okay, now if we are going to add more condition, then what should be like that condition. First condition, I will say that if less than 20, then you should work hard to get better score. Okay, now else if, we are going to say that else if score is maybe less than 40, then what should be the option? Then we are going to say that your score is okay. Then again we are going to write like else if score is less than and maybe 80, then we are saying print you are doing great job and keep it up. Then else we are going to say that if and else if score is less than and okay, we are going to use one more, equality, less than and equal. Then we are going to say print you are amazing, you are amazing. Okay, now what about if I'm getting like less than 20, it means 90, then I have to get, you should work hard to get better. If I have less than like 40, 35 for example, then your score is okay. Okay, now that condition is coming. If it is like less than, for example, 80 and I have 75 score, then it will saying you are doing great job, keep it up. Okay, if I have like 95% or score, you are amazing. How about if I'm getting like 120, then your score is less or equal, I'm getting that number, and we are going to write that your score is okay, we are going to say please write correct number. Okay, then now please write correct number, because more than 100 we don't have a number. Okay, there are students who are getting score, or there is sports which is like working, and if they are like writing 110, and then there could be like it should not be the case, and please write the correct number. And we are going to say okay, I have 100, and it is saying you are amazing. And if it's like more than 80, like we have 80, then it is also saying you are amazing. But if I have 79, then it will go to like that score. Okay, and I will get output where you are doing great job, keep it up. Okay, you are doing great job and keep it up. And we are getting like this output, and it means that whatsoever you are going to write here, and it will give you that information. For example, if I'm going to include 20 as well in the same like 40, and we are going to also add the equality sign as well. And now if I'm going to like get 20 number or 20 score, then that message will come. Okay, otherwise if I don't have like equal sign, then it will like go in that score, because I'm saying that if less than 20 and 20 is not included, which directly go to the second condition, that it is imposing like 20 in here. But if I'm going to write like 20, then we are getting like 20 is also included. If I'm going to write like 21, then you will see that now it is jumping to like in second condition. And if it is like 80, then it will go to like in third condition. And if it is more than like 81, then it will jump to the final condition here, like that condition. Now let me just give you an example. And if it is like more than 100, then you will get like please write correct answer. And if I'm going to give a comment here like please, and I'm going to give here like okay, and here wrong number condition, wrong score condition. Okay, we are going to just write here something. Therefore we are going to just use like a hash sign, and here we get like wrong score. And you can also give a comment for different condition as well. For example, if I'm going to give a comment here, and we are going to write like your score is too low, and here we have like condition. Okay, now we can also give different condition like wrong score condition, and we are going to write like okay, and here is the condition, and I'm going to run that condition, and you can just make more readable your Python programming. Now I hope you got and understand that how you are going to use multiple condition, and how you are going to use less than or equal to. Again, if you can also use like greater than. Okay, if the number is greater than the 20, what should be the condition, and if the number is greater than 80, what should be the condition. I will give that as a challenge to you, and you should also program according to greater, using the greater sign, and make your program similar to my program, which I have done with multiple condition. You are also going to do the same thing, and just give me a link of that program, and I will check and give you feedback about that one. And for combined condition, I will just make a variable like age, which should be 18, and we have like gender, okay, which should be like string, and we are going to say that male. Okay, now I will combine the two variable with condition, and we are going to say that if a person of the age is 18 and also male, they can do one task, otherwise they cannot do that task. Okay, now what I'm going to do, for example, if age is equal to 18, and with the combination of the and, we are going to just join or combine two condition in one line, and that is how we are going to just organize our program in more beautiful way. Now gender, okay, here we are going to use double equal sign, which is because we are just comparing the value, and that is like assigning the value. Okay, now gender should be equal to, and we are going to say that male. Then it should print like you can get the card. Maybe there is some card which is only for the teenagers, and the person who is also 18 years old, and he should be male, not a female, that then he can get a card. And that is how our programming work. Now you can get the card. Okay, if it should be like female, and female is like coming here, the program is blank, and we can also write else condition, and we are going to print either your age is not 18 or you are not male. Okay, then we will get the result like either your age is not 18 or you are not male. It means that it should be like male and you can get the card, and the person should be exactly like 18 years old, otherwise we will not get the same. Okay, we are restricting like two condition, and that two conditions should be true. For example, age should be true and gender should be true. True and true means true, and like true, like if I'm going to write print true and true, then you will get like the result is true. And if true and false, you will get the result false, and false and false, and you will get the result false, because false and false is false, and like false and true is equal to like we get like false. Okay, now for the condition which we are using, like the both conditions should be true. Otherwise, if we are going to use and, it means we are imposing both conditions should be true. If either one of the condition is not true, then we will get the result which is false. Okay, now similarly we are going to use maybe we are going to use one more combined condition, and that is like if age is equal to 18 or gender is equal to like male, then what should be the condition? Print you can get the card. Okay, otherwise we are going to say that else sorry you don't have permission. Okay, now when I'm going to run like the program you can get the card, because we have both the values which are like true, and if I'm going to make it like that should be female, and I'm going to print, and you will get the first output which either your age is not 18 or you are not male, but in second program you can see that you can get the card. Still we are getting the card because we are saying the condition that or. It means one condition should be true, then we will get the result in true. Either it should be 18 or it should be male, we will get a true. And you can also check that by printing like true or false. Now the result should be true, okay, because you are saying true or false. It means one condition is getting true values, or either any one of that value is getting any true values, then we will get the print which is true. Like we are getting one true values, and therefore the condition is saying, okay, you are like just getting one true condition, therefore you are getting the result as a true. If we are getting true and true, then it means you will be definitely that is also true. And if you are getting like false and true, again you are getting true. But false and false will be false, okay, because no values, not a single value is like getting a true value, therefore we are getting false. And therefore we are going to just combine many like condition in one combined condition, or we are going to also like add more values here. For example, we are going to say that and maybe age, gender, and we are also adding and color should be is equal to red. Okay, now we are going to write color which is equal to like red. If all three options are true, then you will get a true value. If any one of that value is not true, then you cannot get. For example, all three values are true and you are getting a true values. And if it is, for example, red is green, then you cannot get like the true value here. But here, for example, if I'm going to add color as well, and which should be like red, then again we are getting one value or two value which is true, and that will give us the true value. But here we have like one value which is not true, which is green, and here we have red, therefore we are getting like that is not a true. Therefore you can combine more than 2, 3 or any number which you want, then you can add that with the help of or and but remember that for the and all value should be true, otherwise you will not get a true value. For or any one value, if any one value will be true, then you will get a true value. I hope you got the idea that how you are going to combine conditions in Python. We have just created one variable like my list, and we are like making 1 2 3, for example 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. Now see, if I'm going to just call my list, and you will get exactly whatever you are going to get from that your list, but it is like taking a lot of time while writing each integer. And since it is in sequence, like they have like 1 2 3 and the difference is 1 between both integer, therefore we are going to make one new like looping procedure. For example, if I'm going to say list range from range, and we are going to say from 1 to like, if we are going to if we are going to like 11 parts, then we are going to say from 1 to 10. Now see how we are going how we have minimized our effort. Like we are saying using the property like list, and we are also using the same property in the list which is like range, and we are saying it is from the 1 to 11. Now remember that in range, when you are going to use range and it is like 1, you have the initial number or initial integer, it will be included, but the last one will not be included. Like I have written here it is 11, but you are going to see that we have an output which is 10. Now therefore if you are like writing range, you should remember that what number should be included and what number should not be included, and you are going to get the same output from here. Now one thing more we are going to make from the range, and we are going to use for loop. If we are going to like if you are going to repeat the same code again and again, we are going to use for that one simple Python programming, which is for loop. For example, for x in, I'm saying that for x in range and like 0 to 11, and we are going to just also give that n function that print x. Now what you are going to see, you have like 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 and up to 10 now, but it is in vertical direction because it is not like in list. The list start by square bracket, but if it is not in list, it is only integer, you can get like 0 1 2 and there is no any bracket in here. It means that it is not like list, but it is a range which is from 1 0 to 10. Okay, how about if we are going to make some more modification? For example, in that code, then we are going to say that for x in range, if you are going to write like something else, and we are going to say hello number. Okay, then we are going to just call a variable, and we are also going to call that variable as a for example as x, since we are going to use x. Okay, now what we are going to get, we are going to get a very powerful result in a case that we are saying that just give different like numbers, hello number 0, hello number 1, hello number 2, hello number 3, and we are also going to call for example different name, and you may get all these with the for loop in a very good and simple direction. But remember one thing, what we are doing from that loop. For example, for I'm saying x and x in range, it means I am assigning a variable here, like calling that x, and therefore we are giving that x a range, and we are saying that variable should be like printed how many times. Like here we have like 10 times you have to be printed. You can increase that like 20 times up to any level which you want. Okay, but here we are also assigning that variable like print that range in the shape of hello number, and there should be a variable, and that variable okay, we have like that variable, and we have assigned that in x, which is like 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 10 8 9 10. Okay, now you are going to do similar things. Now one more example I'm going to show you. For example, for x in range, we are going to make two range at the same time, 11, same example, but and we are going to say print x. Okay, and again we are going to loop for x. Okay, since we are using x, then we are not going to repeat x again. For y in range, I'm going to say that maybe write anything. Okay, hello. Okay, we are going to write the range. For example, I need 0 to 3, it means 2 times, and we are going to print that one like hello in between. Okay, now what you will get in the result, you will get like 0, then you will get like 1 2 0 1 2, it means 3 times you are going to get that in between 0 and 1. Now let me just run. Now you can see we have between 0 and 1, you are going to get like 3 more loop, and again you are going to get in from 1 to 2, you are going to get the same 3 times. and it will go like up to that level which you have like given the loop limitation or range. Now that is how you are going to repeat like your complete Python programming, and you are not going to write each line if it is coming in sequence, and you are again and again you are going to like render and get the output at the same time. Then you are going to use like range, and for the looping you are going to use for. And you can see how beautifully we are just terminated the complete lines by some simple wording and integers, and you are getting like complete list. What is function and how we are going to use function in Python, you are going to learn in this lesson. Now let's see if we have like something, we are going to define a function by writing def, and it is like define a function. Okay, whenever you are going to write a function, you should remember that you have to write first def. After that you are going to name a function whatsoever you are going to write for the function. For example, I will say hello, and it will change, and the color will change something like I'm using like PyCharm, and it is like blue sign or yellow sign or yellow color. Now for the function, when you are going to use the name of function, then you are also going to write parenthesis, open it and close it. And after that one, we are also going to learn that how we are going to use some parameter using in these parentheses. Now finally you are going to write colon. Then you have to write your function which you are going to run. For example, I will say hello world. Okay, now when you are like going to run that program, and I'm going to run that program, you will see there is no any output. Then why that is like, why it is like that? You must remember that while you are going to use function, then you are storing that data or that functionality in your function. And when you are going to, or when you need that function, then you have to call the function. For example, you are going to call hello, and then when you are going to print or run your program, then you will see the result. Therefore, anything which you are going to write in function, it will not be displayed if you are not going to call the function. For example, if I'm going to write, and you are going to make enough in single function different like multiple number of print or other function as well. Now for example, hello world, it is my first function. Okay, function program, and therefore let me just call my function hello. Then you will see that both of that function, or both of that like I'm calling hello function, it will come here like hello world, it is my first function. And if you are going to like don't need to call that function, then it means that you don't get the result. And the beauty of function is that, for example, if you are going to call like hello, and you are going to print here something else like hi, it is second line. Okay, now when I'm going to run the program, you will get like hello world, it is my first function program, and hi, it is second line. Now if I need once again all these function, then what you are going to write like hello function once again. Okay, now you will get hello world, it is my first function program, and it is like you have second line, and in second line you will get the same thing but only calling that function. It means that whenever you need that function in anywhere in your program, you are going to call that function and you will get the result as a sequence. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I will just make one more program, and that program should be like let me define function, and I'm like making similar program which should be like a print. When you are going to print something, or you want to display some information in your compiler, after running that, you are like calling the function for the print, right? Like I'm using function for the print and you have a parenthesis. It means print is also a function. Now, how about if I'm going to say that write that function, that I will just say write, and I will call parameter, and I will call that text. Okay. Now what we are going to do next, we are just going to like call that parameter, and I will write print and like text. Okay. Now again, if I'm going to like print that program, then you will get nothing. However, when I'm going to call the program like write, then you will see now here you will get like a text is appearing that you have to write text. Okay. Now what should I write? For example, I will write hello. Okay, hello world. Now when I'm going to print, then you will get like hello world. Now again, if you are going to write print and you are saying hello world, and it is print function, and similarly when you are going to call like write, if someone don't want to or don't remember print function, then they may make their own function like write, and it is like hello world, it is write function. And if you are going to compare both of that like function has similar functionality, like you are going to call the function like print write, and here like print, and you are making the sentence like hello world, and it is print function, hello world, and it is write function. Now when I'm going to print both function, then you will get the similar like sentence with write function, and here we have write function, and here you have like print function. And you can just call that the function. When we are going to use function, we are going to name that function, and we can also use like a parameter. Okay, in between parentheses we are going to write like a variable, and we are going to call that variable as well. For example, if you have a print then text, whatsoever you are going to write here, for example write hello world, and it is completely working like print, and you can make your own print functionality as well. Okay, now let me just give you another way of making your function. For example, function name. Okay, I will say for example info. Okay, and info I will say name, and we are going to use two like parameters and age. Okay, I will say print, then we are going to call your name. Your name is like, then I will concatenate like name, and also okay, we are going to make that in like quotation, single quotation, and okay, your name is okay, concatenate that like parameter here. After that, after printing the text or string, it should be like the name should be here, and then your age is okay, we are going to write that in parenthesis, in quotation mark as well. Your age is like, we are concatenating age as well. Okay, now once I'm going to call info, then you will get like name and age, because we are defining two parameters, name and age. And when you are going to like write name and age, for example, now you will get like name and age on the top, you can see that, and I will write name, and the name is like James, and age is like 25. Okay, now when I'm going to run the program, then you will get your name is James, and we have to also make a space here. For that, you can do either making space here, and it will make the problem and you can resolve the problem. For example, now I'm going to run the program. Your name is James and your age is 25. Okay, for example, if someone else will come who has different name and different like age, what should they will call? They will print, like I will print, for example, let me print info about teacher, and then we are going to call like info function, and I'm going to name that, for example, Javed, and it should be like 23 or 24. And also I'm going to write like print and info about like math teacher, and I'm going to call the info. See how beautifully we are going to like making the function and using that in a very creative way. Like I'm going to run that program, and first you are going to see that we have first info, names James and 25, and you can see that your name is James and age 25. Now the print function will come like info about like physics teacher, and your name is Javed. Like we are just calling that function, your name is Javed and your age 24. Now again I'm calling one more print function, info about math teacher. See, we are just calling that information like your name is Jahanzeb, your age is 25. Okay, now that is the beauty of the function. Like whenever you need that function, whenever you are going to use, or whenever you are going to call that function, all the information will be displayed without doing the work again and again, and you are going to just need that function and call it with minimal like coding and programming. I hope you got a clear idea that how you are going to use function, and how is the beauty of function which we are using in program. Most of the time when we are like repeating the same concept or the same program again and again with few variation or information, then we are going to use like the function, and we are going to minimize our effort in programming, and we make a program more readable. Therefore like the function is you are going to use function whenever you are going to store all the data or program in one place, and whenever you need that information or that program, you are going to call accordingly. Now in this lesson we are going to make a BMI, body mass index, which is a calculator which give you information about your like if your body is in shape or if you are in overweight or underweight. We are going to make and give you a little bit more information how you are going to use Python while you are like dealing in the calculation. Now for example, I will make a function and I will call it power. Okay, and it is like we are powering a number. Therefore we are going to say that a number. Okay, and we are just going to call result. We are assigning a variable and number, and since for power we are going to use double asterisk sign, and then I'm going to use 2. And now once I'm going to call power function, then I have to write a number. For example, I will write 4, and when I'm going to like I have to also take that function into print, that you can get the clear idea that what I am going to do. And you are like looking that I have a result with none value, which is a bit like annoying. That why? Because we have already done everything correctly, but again we are getting a result with none. But remember that when you are going to define a function and you are going to make a calculation in the function, then you have to also return the value. For example, I'm going to return the result, and now you can see now the error also has just ended, and we have returned the result. Now the power of 4, which should be like 16 in result, and you are getting like correctly. And if you are going to like write power of 3, and it should be 9, and you are like getting your complete code. Okay, how about if we are going to increase the power, for example, from 2 to 3, and we know that the power of 3 on 2 is like 8. And how about if we are going to give a freedom to the user that they can enter themselves the power and also like the number? Then we are going to add one more value in the function, like number and power, or PWR we are going to write. Okay, then we are going to make that also like the value which we have entered in the function. Therefore we are going to call, and now we have a freedom. Once I'm going to call the power, and then you can write both number and power. For example, the number is 3 and power is 2, and now we are going to get like 9, and it is the value. And if I'm going to like write the power of 3 and power of the number 3, power of 3, and you like get 27. And therefore the main like idea here in defining a function and returning the value, that is like you have to write return. And most of the programming language, like if you are using like Dart, Java or JavaScript, and C or C#, you can see the function which has the value which you should return. Okay, now that is how you are going to simply work on the function while you are going to calculate and want to get a result from that calculation. That you have to call a return value. Now let me just give you another idea, and we are just going to write a BMI like calculator we are going to make in Python. Okay, and for that I will call like def health and call, it means health calculator. And here I'm going to give two value, and one is like for weight and one is for height. Okay, and I will just make one simple calculation, for example result. And then for result we have one simple like formula for BMI, and it is like body mass index. And you can see that we have mass which is in kg and height is in meter, and we have different values, like if it is BMI lower than like 18.5 suggests the person is underweight, and if the number from like in between 25 to 30, it indicates the person is overweight. And it means that in between like 18.5 to 25, the person is like okay, you have a very nice and good health or body weight. Okay, we are going to make something like that one, but first you have to remember we are going to use that formula, which is mass hour or divided by height square. Okay, therefore we are going to use height. Okay, weight, and since we have like weight, okay, or mass, okay, since kg we are using in physical world, we don't use weight, we are going to use like mass. Okay, let's change that to m, mass. Okay, result is equal to mass and divided by height and square. It means height square, multiplying by 2 times the number which we get in height. Okay, that is simple result. And now what we are going to do, we are just going to give some like value to that result, and we have to also like return the value of result. And therefore once I'm going to call the function like health, okay, and mass, for example, I'm right now nowadays I'm 70, and for height I'm going to also use a simple method. If you have centimeter, if you know your weight is in centimeter, in meter, in inches, in feet, whatsoever, you can just directly convert that in Google. And you can also make a functionality in Python as well that can automatically convert. But for the simplicity, I will just make like I'm 6 feet, okay. Therefore I'm going to change that feet to like we have meter, okay. And since we have here like using meter, therefore I have to convert my feet, since I know that I'm 6 feet, but I don't know how much I'm in meter. Then therefore I'm going to get like it is 1.82 or it is 1.8, okay. Now what I'm going to do, I will write 1.8 and we are going to also call that in print and print. Okay, now let's see. I'm 24, okay. Now the 24 should be what should be if mass 70 and height is like 1.8 and I'm 24, and according to that calculation which we have right now in body mass ratio, I am like underweight, okay. I should be like 25 to 30, and I'm missing like I'm missing like 0.7 to be a perfect body shape. But that is how I'm right now, okay. Maybe I'm 72 right now, and let's check. Okay, it is close to perfect body, but that is how you are going to understand the concept. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I make some functionality that if we have like underweight and overweight, there should be a concept here, and we have to just make that by conditional statement in Python. For example, I will write if result, okay. How about if we are going to minimize the result as well, but right now let me just write that result. If result is like less than 18.5, okay, since we have like 18.5, I believe that, okay, it is like 18.5, then suggest the person is underweight, okay, lower than 18.5. We are saying that, okay, if the result is lower than or less than 18.5, then what should be the result? You are underweight, okay, you are underweight. Or you can write something else as well, eat as much as possible to gain more weight, and you can write that one. But for simplicity, I'm also just giving you the idea that how you are going to do, okay. How about if we have like different condition as well, like if it is more than 18.5, then what should be the result, okay. And I will just give that else if result should be greater than, and since we are going to also include that 18.5, okay, or I will also write greater and equal to, since we are including 18.5 as well in the result, and is equal to 18.5. And also we are going to add one more functionality, because we know that after like 25 the person will be our weight, but lower than 25, less than 25, the result should be like they are like they have a very perfect body shape, okay, like you have perfect body weight. I'm just giving the condition that if it is like from 18.5 to 25, in between that result, if we are getting the value, then the result should be like you have a perfect body shape, okay. And I think right now I have 24, and let me just check out. A number 25 up to 30 may indicate the person is overweight. Okay, now it means that I'm like have a perfect body shape. And now if it is like, else if result is like greater than or equal to 25, then it should be like print you are overweight. Okay, you are overweight. Okay, else we are going to write that if a person is like less than, we should also make a condition that less than and like maybe and result should be, here we are also going to give condition and make that like greater than, like if I'm giving the adult should be greater than maybe 10, then we are going to, if it is not that condition, not that condition, and even not this condition, then what should be the result? We are going to say that you have invalid weight, mass, or weight or height. It means that someone is writing some invalid weight and height. Okay, now let me just run that program, and you are looking that you are okay, perfect body weight. You have perfect body weight. Okay, you are underweight, you have perfect body shape, you are overweight, and you have invalid mass or height. Okay, now you have perfect body shape. If I'm going to write like, I'm going to say that maybe I have like 55 kg, and I'm like 6 feet tall, and like I'm a thin, a very lightweight, then it is saying that you have perfect body weight, which is like 19. Okay, now it should be like conditioning that one, giving the idea that now if I'm going to go and lower than that one, then you are like underweight. And if I'm going to give like 150 kg, what should be? You are overweight. Now we are giving a condition. If we have like perfect body shape, if I'm in 70 and I have like 6 feet, then I have a perfect body shape. It means I have not worry about my weight. I have to do whatsoever I'm doing, and I have to eat whatsoever I'm eating, and that is what I have to just maintain my body shape. Okay, or body weight. Now that is how you are going to call your complete function. How about if we are going to just not give that condition, return result? It means that we are giving everything but not returning the function, then you will get like you have perfect body shape. Now Python is calculating and getting the result, but it is not displaying here. It is giving the idea or printing that you have perfect body shape. If I'm going to like write 45, now you can see you are under like okay, underweight. I have written that understand weight. Okay, you have underweight, you are underweight. Okay, now if I'm going to run that program, you can see that you are underweight and the value is none. It means Python itself is like taking the value and it is manipulating in the program, but not returning that value to the compiler in the Python, which you have to just give that by return the result. Okay, now once you are going to write, then you will get the value as well, that yeah, you have like the result is 15.62 or 15.6 and you are underweight. You have to work on your weight, you have to eat more, you have to eat healthy, and you have to gain a weight for your daily work or daily progress. Okay, now that is how we are going to return the value. Okay, if we are like going to give a freedom to the user that they have to enter in the compiler the value but not in backend, then we can do one thing. Okay, we are going to call like mass, and we are going to input the value, and we are going to say that write your weight. Okay, and then we are going to also call height and input that value, and we are going to call it write your height like in meter. Okay, we are indicating that yes, you have to write in meter. Now everything else is completely fine. If I'm going to like run the program, you will get write your height. If I'm going to, for example, write 1 and also 2, and now you are getting a complete error, and that error is like error type. Error type means that we are using like power, and you can also like POW for the power to call the function, and that is like string, and you are like multiplying the string, which is not possible in any case in programming. Therefore it is giving error type. Now what I have to do, I have to make that like integer, that whatsoever I'm writing here, it is integer, and you know that we are going to convert the string to the integer by writing like int. And now once I'm going to write and run the program, for example 1 and 1, and you have invalid mass or height. Okay, now why? Because I'm writing wrong. Now if I'm going to, for example, write something, let me run once again. Okay, like 45, and my height is 6 and 1.8. okay, and I'm getting like the error once again, and value error invalid, like literal for int with a base like 10, and we have like 1.8. it means we are like entering one more data types, which is like float, and we are calling that integer. If I'm going to just round off that, for example my weight is 70 and my height is 2, then now you are going to get you are underweight like 17.5. okay, it means I'm like changing the value to the integer, but I'm giving you assignment that you should make that like if someone is entering like different type, for example the point, okay, then what should you have to do, like decimal, how you are going to make that one. And one thing more, if you are going to like remove m and h in function, because you are going to give like input value here, then the program will again run smoothly. For example, I have 75 and I have 2, and you can see you have a perfect body weight. Okay, now it means you don't need any like parameter here to enter, or you are going to call, because you are going to give the freedom to the user itself to write whatever you have in your mind, or you have freedom to write whatsoever you want. Okay, I hope you got the idea that how you are going to use the function and how you are going to convert different data types, and with the help of like conditions, sentences, you are going to control your complete program. If you have again any problem, you can write that in the comment box below and ask me anytime. If you have not subscribed yet to my channel, just subscribe for more upcoming videos. Thank you everyone. Goodbye.